Godot has arrived, Tanya. No more waiting for Godot.
Where's everybody else then, Jeff? Where's everybody else tonight?
Well, Steffi's gone away.
I
Kinda.
don't know.
Steph is tired.
Well, she's
Tired
gonna.
of us.
She's trying to make it in time.
Oh, is she going to still try?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
She
I
said she.
assumed that her
Well,
vehicle trouble was going to keep her away.
well, she said she was going to try. I mean, she's intending to be here at some point.
Cool.
But I think it was going to be depending on what she found out when she got to the tire place, which she isn't there yet. So, hi, Donna Rose. So, Jeff, Tim is at Point Reyes. Do you know where that is?
Yeah. Beautiful place.
He's out in his RV this week.
Nice.
Hi, Micah. Mike Kuipers, Tanya, Mr. Van Ram. I think that's everybody. Yeah, I think so. A nice elite little group here, a little select group of
Our select
chat room.
friends.
Exactly.
Don't tell anybody else that comes after.
Yeah, exactly. We like you guys the best.
Yeah, you guys. We love you the most. Oh, no. Is this being recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Is it? Yeah, the stream is recording right now, isn't it? Oh, well, we're just kidding everybody that's watching this after the fact.
Oh
We
yeah,
love you
Logan's
too.
here. Sorry, Logan, I forgot you. Forgot you, Logan. Didn't mean to. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you start naming people. Then you leave someone out, and then they get sad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, how's the knee, Micah? Doing better?
Jeff, do you have any more lighting you can put on your face? You're a little dull there.
Yeah, a bit more makeup, mate.
A little something.
Oh, I don't have any makeup.
Little
I
something,
can,
something.
Put the white stuff on.
let me see here.
I was going to pick Poppy up before the show, and I was driving down this residential street south of me, and this Japanese lady, I assume she was, in a full geisha outfit, came out of the house and got
Ooh,
into
wow.
the driver's seat of this SUV. It was just the sort of funniest thing. Anyway,
Wow.
I was very curious to know who she was and where she was going, and
Was she
ain't
a
bad.
lady of the night?
I don't know.
That kind of a geisha?
She looked beautiful. I mean, she had the little shoes on, and she was shuffling along.
Excellent.
Micah says it's a full-time job, his recovery. Need to run through a series of 10 exercises 3 times a day, elevate it for half an hour 5 times a day, and ice it half an hour 5 times a day. Wow.
Wow,
Boy,
sounds like
boy.
a lot of work.
That's a lot to
yeah.
keep track of. That's a
That is
lot,
full time.
as I like to say. One of my signature phrases. That's a lot.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it.
Wow. That's a lot. I
Very
saw a
impressive.
thing. I saw a thing at Costco. Well, in the Costco thing that they send me every week about what's on sale. And it's a piece of hardware and software and stuff that I have no use for, but I really want it. But it's like $400. I'm not going to buy it. It's this really cool thing. If you were a big family that had a lot of kids' activities and stuff like that, it sucks in all of your calendars and is a display of all your calendars. So you can, see Johnny's at soccer here and Dad's out at the, bowling league. And anyway, it just looks very cool to me, but I don't need it, but I like it. Anyway.
Is it as good as a spreadsheet?
It's getting there.
Oh,
It's not quite there, but I just love my spreadsheets. Oh, I did a couple this week. I just love them. But I got my taxes paid this week. Woohoo!
Yeah.
well done.
Always
I
love
need to
it.
write to my tax man. He screwed me over. There you
dear,
go.
that's
What
not
do you
good.
expect?
I just love that feeling of it's done for the year. Love it.
I filed my first amendment.
Oh, good. But you've got another
I
amendment,
have another
right?
one to go, I think,
That you know of. There might be another one
that I
out
know
there.
of. So that's why I'm kind of waiting a little bit. I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Maybe I'll think of something else that I forgot to
Yeah, I used to do mine, and about 15 years ago, easily, I just thought, you know what? I'm going to pay somebody to do this. I don't
Well,
enjoy it.
this is the first time that I've filed probably in 20 years. Filed on my own,
Yeah, well,
and
Tim is a fan of spreadsheets too.
he spreads his sheets last night for a comfy sleep. How about
There
that?
you go.
Okay.
You and I have a very different view of taxes, Micah. I'm not happy to pay them, but I understand why we have to pay for things. So I kind of feel it's almost like a civic duty. I want to minimize it, but I don't want to. Anyway,
Oh, let's don't have political
no,
discussions.
let's not go there exactly. Oh, look at Logan. He had to file an amendment due to his company for $3.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh my God, isn't that sad?
Really? I mean, I'm thinking I would have let that one go, but I don't know. Maybe you can't.
I mean, back in the day when they were still sending out checks rather than doing direct deposit stuff, I remember getting a check for something like 18 cents or something once. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I got my PayPal account. They said, "Hey, congratulations, you made some interest. $0.01, 1 penny." I went, "Oh, well, thank you. You could have kept that. Thank you
You've
very much."
changed. You've changed my life by that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm going to put it in
oh.
one of those machines that flattens it and turns it into a big oval.
You probably have to pay 5 cents to use the darn machine.
I think one of the best things our government ever did here was get rid of pennies. I'm so happy, and I think they're going to do nickels soon too.
I think that they're
Love it.
going to do that here too. The nickel, I mean, the penny thing.
It's great. When you pay electronically, you pay to the penny, but there's no pennies in the actual currency.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know.
So they round up and
That
down.
was I received something from the Pope, Tim.
Papal send
The
a penny.
Papal sent a penny for your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I guess he's sending it long distance now, Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That's a neat trick.
The penny squishers. Don't you remember putting them on railway tracks? Anyway,
Yeah, I used to keep doing it on the third rail. That was the problem.
that's what
How
happened
is
to
it
you.
you're still with us?
They were
He
rubber pennies.
He had his own electroconvulsive therapy, but he just sort of self-administered.
Oh, I'm impressed with all the lingo, Liz.
ECT?
Okay, so let's see. Do we need to check Radio Roger again? I think he said it was okay.
How are our levels out
Yeah,
there
how
in
are our levels doing?
chat room land? Look for the white
You
smoke.
could still do with a bit brighter. I'm not quite sure what's wrong. It's just a bit low on contrast, Jeff.
Yeah, you just look.
Well, I bumped it. I was at like less than 10% on this light, and now I just bumped it up to 50%.
Oh, right.
It's really bright.
Okay,
Yeah,
well.
well,
I think
Is it,
Nick's right. It's the contrast to your background somehow.
as
Isn't
the exposure automatically reduced it back down again.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay,
Mike says
well.
our levels are good, and so does Logan. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Let me see if I can do something with.
And Tim. Thank you, all three of
exposure.
you. Very good.
That might all be almost too much.
Micah says
But
there.
the
Well, I just
contrast
turned
would
off
be
the
better.
auto. Now I have to adjust everything manually.
It's better though.
Your moustache really pops.
A pop of color. They always say
That's
that.
Oh, nice one.
Looks like the
that
devil.
moustache
Looks like the
pop.
devil.
Yeah, well, he's looked like that for years.
How's that?
That's
Is that any
good.
better?
That's better. Yeah, no, that is better than it was before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little ruddy. Can you unruddify yourself, or are you just are you ruddy anyway? I wouldn't spend a ton of time on
Ruddy
it.
Jeff.
That ruddy Jeff.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that's very good. I like that.
I was going to
That's,
say something, and I won't say that.
Nanu. What's that?
Is that better?
That's better. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, not as ruddy. You de-ruddified.
Which camera are you using? The same usual one?
Yeah, one I've been using all last several episodes.
So yes, Steffi is
could-
going to. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say I could get out the Insta 360 and give that a shot if you.
I don't
could
think
If you
it's.
got time. Is it ready to hand?
Yeah.
Oh,
my back.
listen to all the groaning.
I just groan in anticipation now because
Yeah,
I know
so
it's
do,
going to
so
hurt.
do I. So do I.
Yeah.
So Steffi's going to try and join us. She has had some tire problems on her car today, so she's got to stop at the tire place on the way home. But
Yeah,
she's going to try and be with us.
That's
Camacho's
entirely unacceptable.
unfortunately Camacho's a
She's
busy
very
guy,
tired.
and Jeff did reach out to Captain Stefan and to Captain RJ. Is he a captain or is he a first officer RJ? I don't
First
know. Anyway.
office.
Okay. Anyway, RJ, who we haven't seen for quite a while. I'd love to, but they were both busy. So
Better things to do.
it's all the old farts, and then hopefully Steffi will show up. Yes, Micah.
Mike had to retire. Very
Yeah,
good.
retire. Ha 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 ha. A cross between the Green Lantern and Vincent Price. Yeah.
Okay, let's turn off
Poppy, what do you do?
that. Settings.
Hey.
Camera.
Yeah, we had our first really nice spring-like day here today. Sunny and warm and nice. I think the sun's gone in now.
The first one. We've had a couple of weeks of decent.
Oh, I know. We're really behind. The trees are very behind and stuff. Coming out.
Horrible.
You don't want to go behind the trees. Someone might see you.
Yes.
Update later.
Oh, now Jeff's in the dark.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here.
Oh,
It's been a while
that's
since I've
very-
used this.
Creepy. I like that.
That's definitely the Halloween setting. Snow on the weekend, Logan? Holy moly. I think snow is behind us. I
Wow.
don't think we have any more snow. Blue on. Oh, the background's coming up now. That's good, Jeff. I think that looks nice.
Oh, that's nice.
That's very
Yes, like
nice.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, picked you out very
That-
well.
yeah.
You could zoom a little bit, but
Okay.
Yeah. But
the
that,
exposure is very good.
you're exposing yourself well there, Jeff.
Well, thank you for noticing. Wrong way.
Yes, the floating head episode. Remember that?
Oh, yes.
Jeff does like his black shirts. Down a little bit more.
There we go. That's
That's
nice.
really good.
Well, I don't like too much headroom.
Okay. Max headroom?
Okay, if I'm standing straight up, I get that, and then if I slouch a little bit,
Oh, I forgot you're standing. Yeah. I forgot.
yeah.
You're doing a standing show tonight.
He's giving himself a standing
Well, I
ovation.
can stand it.
That was worth getting the other camera for. You're looking good. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's
Good.
go.
Here, hang on. I got to quit the other camera software so we don't use up extra
Bandwidth.
stuff. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, let me make an adjustment on when I'm using this camera. I like to use that microphone for Unity, so let me switch that.
Okay.
Where's Unity? There it is.
You know, in 6 shows, I know exactly what the artwork's going to
Oh, yeah. Something to do with the devil,
be.
Beelzebub.
666?
The number of the beast, yes.
Oh, no.
666.
This is going to be.
Okay, I'm going to do a check on Unity, see if it can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Good.
All good.
Thank you. All right. I think.
I think we're getting close, everybody. I think we're getting close.
Let me get over here.
Said the bishop to the actress.
I love that.
I don't know what you mean.
It's just a good innuendo, if you know what I mean.
And,
That's
and
right.
who's endo?
His endo, I know. Who's that? Jeff coughing?
It's me. I got
Is
chest
that
congestion.
pollen related?
Yeah, I couldn't. That's why I couldn't sing at all on
Oh,
Sunday.
yeah.
Took the day off because I could hardly talk.
It was impollenable.
Yeah, it was pollen. And then, of course, it goes through a normal stage where it just goes right to my chest. And so I've been taking the chest congestion medication. Anyway, it's almost gone. It's still there. But
Okay,
let me see.
let's go.
Okay, let me go on that. Nick and Liz. And we got that. Let me close that window. I've been recording on that. Now I'm going to record on this. And
I was just going
looks
to
like
ask you about
all the
recordings.
channels are working. And I'm going to go to the countdown. And I guess give this a whirl.
So we're
You're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy Show.
The view from our side of the cockpit door.
WAPG. It's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Airline Pilot Guy, episode 660.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Hello, you're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy Show, the view from our side of the cockpit door, with your host, Captain Jeff, broadcasting live from APG headquarters in Roswell, Georgia. Today's show is recorded on the week of April 21st, 2025.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the Airline Pilot Guy. It's your ride and he's flying by. With the Airline Pilot Guy.
In today's episode, a Delta flight with passengers catches fire on the ground at Orlando Airport. And what about pilots with beards trying to use oxygen masks? There's a new study. Also ahead, more news and your feedback. So get all settled in. Tray tables and seat backs in the upright and locked positions. Electronic devices powered on. I'm Radio Roger, and Flight 660 is ready for pushback.
Thank you, Radio Roger. He is an award-winning TV and radio reporter, currently at the #1 all-news station in the nation. 1010 wins on 92.3 FM in
New York City!
Welcome to the Airline Pilot Guy Show. It's an aviation podcast covering the latest in aviation and answering your feedback. I'm Captain Jeff, a former U.S. Air Force pilot, retired Delta Airlines captain. And joining me from his studio,
in Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire.
a retired professional dog photographer, former RAF, RAAF fighter pilot, retired Airbus A330, A340 captain for Virgin Atlantic Airways. It's Captain Nick.
Hi there, Jeff. Going to be a nice show, just you and me. Oh, and perhaps Steph. But for the moment, APG 660. You know, there was an airplane called the 660. It was the Armstrong Whitworth AW660 Argosy. And if Liz could pop up the picture, the lovely thing about the Armstrong Whitworth 660 was its nickname. It was called the Whistling Tit.
I can see that.
Well, I can see that, but what's the whistling part? Why was
Because
whistling?
it whistled. It was a leaky aeroplane. Everything whistled. Apparently.
Okay,
Whistling tit. Okay.
very interesting. Okay,
Another classic.
another classic. And also joining us, you hear her lovely voice from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We have retired financier, aviation enthusiast, and spreadsheet master. That's our producer, Liz Piper.
Hi, everybody. I've already done one swipey thing.
Have you? Didn't
I
even
have.
notice it.
I did just when you
Well,
finished
everything
the
went
intro.
black for a while, but
Yeah.
I don't think you spotted it, Jeff.
I did a quick recovery.
No, I was too many other windows going on here open to cover everything up. So you
Now-
got away with it. You didn't even have
Yeah.
to admit it, Liz. I would
yeah,
not have
I had
noticed.
to confess to you, Father.
Okay.
Now, Jeff, before you start, Micah is saying since Jeff came back after the intro,
Yeah.
his audio. Do you see that? Do you know what that's
I did.
about?
That's why.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons I was a little distracted and was a little off on your intro.
Okay. That's fine.
Because I was trying to figure out what exactly has changed since I changed the camera. Let me make sure the audio didn't switch from something else. No, still on loop back to StreamYard. I'm not sure
Are you still hearing it,
exact-
Micah? Are you still hearing
yeah.
that thing?
because here, let me do this.
No,
you
no.
probably-
Micah says it's fine now. It's all cleared up.
Oh, okay.
It's like the teenage acne. It's all cleared up.
Oh, well, that's good.
It takes
Okay.
some doing.
Bye, you guys. Have a good show.
See you later.
Well,
Liz.
thanks, Liz.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Captain Nick, what do you think we go ahead and start with some aviation news?
Well, that'll make a change.
Stand by for news.
All righty. In Orlando, Florida, the Orlando International Airport, they had a little bit of excitement. If you'll pop my screen share on there, please. And okay, and so the nice folks at the in the gatehouse area, they were looking out the window and they saw this. Ooh, that's yeah. Sorry about that language there. We'll have to fix that in post. So it looks like the number 2 engine, the right engine on this 767-300. No, it's a 330. I'm sorry. A330 caught on. It's one of Delta's oldest 330s. It was the registration is November Whiskey from Northwest Airlines days, and looks like that engine was a little tired too, a little old and tired. And so we got the pretty quick response from the airport fire and rescue. And then we have, let's see, another video here with a little bit more action going on. We got the slides, the doors open, the slides deployed, and we have some folks going down the slides. Yeah, I can't tell. It doesn't look like they have any luggage so far that I can see. Now the ARFF vehicle is blocking our view. How rude.
He's doing it on purpose to stop the photography.
And then, let's see, we have another video, I think from the same person in the terminal. And that's more concentrating on the back door of the 330 and the slide deploying. Oh, I guess, is that it? Oh, that was a shorter video than I thought. Anyway, so yeah, we had a little excitement on that flight. Let's see, a Delta airplane carrying 200 passengers. This is from clickorlando.com news, a local Orlando news affiliate. A Delta airplane carrying 200 passengers caught fire Monday at Orlando International Airport, but there were no initial reports of injuries. Delta Airlines identified the plane as Flight 1213, scheduled to depart. I've never seen OIA before, Orlando International. I guess its real code is MCO. So, yes, that is correct, Liz. It was McCoy Air Force Base. Before it became
I always thought it has something to do with Moscow.
I don't think so. Anyway, it was a Orlando to Atlanta flight supposed to depart at 11 o'clock. a.m., the fire started in the tailpipe of one of the aircraft's two engines, according to the airline. It sounded like a large thump. We thought it was probably like someone who was putting luggage under the plane or something like that. A passenger who was on the flight told News 6. And then we saw an orange flash. Delta passengers, let's see, that's probably some kind of a caption that I'm reading there. Other videos posted on social media showed the plane's emergency slides deployed with the passengers standing nearby. Okay, we saw a little bit of that. We appreciate our customers' cooperation, apologize for the experience. Nothing is more important than safety, and Delta teams will work to get our customers to their final destinations as soon as we put out the fires of their clothing. Yeah, let's see. In addition to the passengers, there were 10 flight attendants and 2 pilots on board. Yeah, but I mean, it's a big market for Delta. We used to fly the L-1011 back and forth between Atlanta and Orlando when we were the official airline of Disney World. Yeah, Mickey Mouse. Anyway, so do we know anybody that flew 330s?
I can't think of anyone offhand.
I think it's nothing specific to a 330. It's more specific to the engine. I'm not sure what engine type is on this particular model. But yeah, that happens sometimes. Who knows? It doesn't really give us any information about what happened exactly.
No, not really. I mean, they said it was a jet pipe fire, which is relatively common, actually, because particularly during startup, because if the fuel is introduced into the engine and for whatever reason it doesn't ignite and start the engine running, that fuel will build up. It will continue to gush into the engine. And then eventually, if it does light up, you end up with a big puddle of fuel in the bottom of the engine that's all burning. And it often comes out of the jet pipe, in a big flaming mess and dribbles everywhere, as you probably imagine. And the usual trick is just to run the engine, because the engine is designed to have fire inside it. It's not really a dramatic event. It's not designed to have fire dribbling everywhere and pouring around the cowling, so that's not good. But if you can get the engine going, you'll just blow all the jet pipe fire out. It'll all the air will rush through the engine. The fire will, the jet fuel will burn. The fire will just concentrate on where it's supposed to be, inside the burning tubes inside the engine, and all will be good. Yeah, if it was down to a failure, then that's a different matter, because if you can't get the engine running and blow it out, then because it's a failure, because there's an issue with the fuel valve in there or something that's in the wrong position, then you're going to have to shut it down and get the fire trucks around. And the last thing you actually want is for the fire trucks to start squirting foam down an engine, because that foam is got a fire retardant quality, but it is quite corrosive, and you're now pushing corrosive foam into a multi-million-dollar engine, one of the most expensive components of the aircraft, and you don't really want that. It can do quite a bit of damage, so that's not ideal. Usually, if you've got someone there who knows their stuff, particularly in the see-off crew, and I'm assuming they've just pushed back because there's a tug still attached to the front of the aircraft, then you would hope that the ground engineer that is on the headset can tell you it's just a jet pipe fire. Can you run the engine? So that would be perfect. If you've got someone inexperienced and never seen it before, doesn't recognize it for what it is, just says, "Oh, you're on fire," then I guess you're going to end up shutting the engines down and doing an evacuation. But for just a jet pipe fire, you would rather not do an evacuation. It's relatively easy to keep under control, and particularly with a decent fire chief as well, who, if you get on the right frequency and you're speaking to him and coordinating well, he's there ready to put any fire out. And if you've got a good fire chief and a good sea-off crew and, a crew on board the aircraft that are all working well together, this is almost a non-event. But I'm not saying that there wasn't that situation in here. I'm just saying perhaps the communication wasn't as precise as it could be because they ended up evacuating, which is not really ideal because, as we all know, putting people down those slides can cause injuries, particularly for the elderly and the infirm. You can kill people. I hate to say it. You can often cause quite severe injuries, and people have died as a result of an evacuation down the slides. Not trying to put anyone off. Usually, the concept of staying on board a burning aeroplane is not as attractive as going down the slides. But so you'd rather not if you can possibly help it. But if you've got to make a decision, and the safest thing is probably to evacuate. Yeah, I've had jet pipe fires. Yeah.
I've had we tend to refer to them as tailpipe fires over here, but the same thing. And as Captain Nick said, the best thing to do in that case is just to make sure that you shut off the fuel and keep the rotation of the fans going, and that eventually blows everything out.
Yeah,
keep that's
motoring the engine. Yeah.
Yeah, keep motoring the engine. I think it was a telltale sign that when this happened, I didn't see anybody running from the jet tug away from the airplane, so that was good.
Yes.
That's actually one of the signals to the flight crew. When you see everybody on the ground running away, then you're thinking, maybe this is serious and we should evacuate. All right. Very good. Let's continue with the next item in our news, and this is from the WRIC.com. I think that's, again, a local news outlet in what do you call that? Puerto Rico. Yeah, it could be. So we have, well, let me read a little bit before we show the video. And I think actually I was reading the wrong news article, like I did it again. Okay, let's look at this next one here in our news. This is an incident that happened at San Juan, Puerto Rico. Frontier Airlines Airbus A321-200 November, registration 607 Foxtrot Romeo, performing flight 3506 from Orlando again, to San Juan, Puerto Rico, with 228 people on board. Touchdown hard on San Juan's runway 10 at 21:40 local time. Went around. During climb-out, the left-hand engine, a Pratt & Whitney 1133 Golf, emitted a continuous streak of flames for several seconds. The airport subsequently closed both runways initially, advising crews of arriving aircraft that there was debris on the runways, and then subsequently advising there had been a hard landing on one of the runways, and the aircraft is now going to use the other runway. The landing runway was being inspected for debris. The aircraft subsequently entered a hold to work checklists associated with the landing gear. By the way, I'm reading this from the Aviation Herald. The aircraft subsequently entered a hold to work checklists associated with landing gear. The aircraft positioned for a low approach to San Juan's runway 8. About 27 minutes later, landed without further incident on runway 8 about 40 minutes after the balked landing. The aircraft vacated the runway at the end and stopped on a parallel taxiway. Runway 8 was reopened after landing, while runway 10 remained closed for some time. Let's see. The FAA reported aircraft attempting to land struck the runway hard, damaging the landing gear. San Juan, Puerto Rico. Passengers reported there had been a shockingly hard touchdown. Then there were moments of panic on board as the left engine was emitting fire. So Now, I think would be a good time to see exactly what it was that they were experiencing on the jet. Here we go.
Now to that harrowing flight on board a Frontier Airlines plane from Orlando to San Juan. Passengers looking out the window, frightened by what they saw. The plane making a hard landing, then going around and landing again. ABC's Gio Benitez covers aviation for us.
Tonight, the terrifying moments before this Frontier Airlines jet finally touched down in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Edwin Soto telling us inside the dark cabin,
That was the pilots
calling
crying.
their families to say goodbye.
It was landing too fast. Out of the sudden, it just slams in the floor. Everybody starts screaming.
The pilot attempting to land, striking the runway so hard it damaged the plane, sending pieces of the landing gear flying.
They're checking for debris on the runway as we speak.
Going around again, the pilot trying to land on another runway.
Yes, I've broken that
Passengers
runway.
gasping,
Let me
some
try this
applauding
one.
when they arrived on the ground.
They're heroes.
Flight attendants urging calm,
Yeah.
directing passengers down the stairs onto the runway. Jeffrey Cerda filming from the tarmac. We made it. We made it. Thank God, he said. And Lindsay, that plane is still on the ground in San Juan, closing the entire airport for a time last night. All 230 people on board are okay. Lindsay?
So much relief about that, Gio. Thank you.
I'm so relieved. Well, thank you for that information, Liz.
Yeah.
And you might want to check the cushions of the sofa that you're sitting on. Yeah. So I think we have some pictures from that aftermath. Okay. Oh, you were showing them. I thought we were showing video. When I was originally reading it. Okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. Jeff, you just don't pay attention. Yeah, it looks like the one of the nose wheels. There's usually two. In this case, when they came back, there was only one remaining on the nose wheel gear spindle, or whatever the technical name is for that. So I guess, Captain Nick, did they do a wheelbarrow touchdown, or just a normal main and then just slammed the nose gear?
Well, yeah,
I mean,
one or
obviously
other,
yeah.
I would say.
It doesn't really
but
say,
without
of
a
course.
picture of the landing, I don't think we're going to be able to tell. But I'm intrigued. They obviously had an engine fault. I'm just wondering if that was where the wheel ended up.
I'm thinking that has the debris from the nose gear assembly somehow got sucked up into that left.
Yep. And because it certainly looked like it was smoking severely on the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't actually MB which side the nose wheel had separated from. It doesn't mean to say it couldn't go down either engine, but...
Yeah, it does look like the left nose wheel departed.
Well, that would be the right nose wheel from if you were sitting in the aircraft looking forward, and it was the left side of the left side engine that seemed to be smoking. So
yeah,
but I mean, depends entirely where the forces are as to which, and it could have not necessarily the wheel; it could have just been other debris that ended up messing that engine up for a little bit. But they didn't seem to suggest there'd been an engine failure as well. So perhaps it wasn't damaged that bad, but enough to make a bit of make it surge a little bit, perhaps.
Make it exciting for the passengers.
Yeah, exactly. 321,
I think.
Yeah. 228, which they must have the whole thing in economy configuration.
Yeah, it's all
for
one.
them.
I think it's one class configuration, and they just cram
one
them
class
on. I mean, that is a lot, Liz.
Well, it was more than there was on that A330 in the first story. There were only 200 on that one, but that's,
Frontier is one of those airlines here that really likes to. It's very, very small pitch or whatever you call that. Like very little space between all of the passengers on board the aircraft. It's quite snug. They say.
Anyway, well done, not well done for the crew for the first landing, but well done for the second landing. I'm surprised the airport let him use the other runway, saying, look, that's already good runway. You land it on the one that you just
Yeah, use the one that you already
made a mess
up.
of.
It's your fault.
Yeah,
So you deal with it.
Yeah. But anyway, pleased everyone's okay.
Yep. Another interesting landing, huh? Okay. Yes, you're right, Liz. I think let's go ahead and play. Let's start off on this one with some video. This time, correctly, WRIC.com. It's a local affiliate in Oregon. Let's see. Yep, I'm not ready to play it yet. What? Ready? Okay. Yeah. Nope, that's Boca Raton. Yep. All right, let's see. Okay, I think I have the correct one now. Are we ready again? Here we go.
A small private jet trying to land at Southwest Oregon Regional Airport in North Bend skidded off the runway early Monday morning and into Coos Bay, ending up about 100 feet out in the water.
Cities request you respond to the North Bend Airport report as a single private jet that's crashed, 5 passengers on. There is injuries.
Emergency crews scrambled to the scene on the southern Oregon coast.
The jet actually went into the water. Everybody's exiting and trying to make their way to the shore.
The 4 passengers and 1 pilot were treated for minor injuries, according to an airport spokesperson.
But I know that within just a short period of time, they were in an ambulance being taken to the hospital.
The small business jet was flying from St. George, Utah to North Bend, Oregon, a route it's made before, according to flight records. Just before landing, the pilot reported a problem with his brakes, the airport spokesperson explained. After skidding across the runway, the pilot just missed a small building, ending up in Coos Bay. 3 sides of the runway are surrounded by water.
The pilot was able to take evasive action to avoid a critically important air navigational tool at the end of the runway.
The NTSB allowed the plane to be removed from the water. It will be evaluated by federal investigators to help determine what happened.
Commercial air service was temporarily suspended at Southwest Oregon Regional Airport this morning. Service has since resumed.
A scary situation for sure. Appreciate you looking into it, Kyle.
Hey, Joe, can you get the microphone muff? It's in my car. I left it. We'll just have to deal with all the wind.
I thought that was great. I mean, he obviously had no control of the airplane, which is why he ran off the end of the runway. And to say that he avoided the navigation aids.
Yeah, like he had any control of all of that.
Yeah,
maybe he did.
I'm good. I don't think he had a lot of option. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I've reading all the notes you've carefully assembled, Jeff. This aircraft seems to be prone to this sort of control issue on landing under braking. Does anyone know? Do we have any Honda pilots?
In our live audience, I don't know if we have any Honda Jet pilots, but I have to give credit where credit is due. It's Liz that compiled all this wonderful.
Well, that's cool.
Information in this article, in this note. But yes, there have been many incidents involving the Honda Jet, the Honda HA420. At least in this case, it was a 2019 Honda HA420. And in fact, one of the articles that Liz included here, which we'll have in the show notes for everyone, is from Aviation Week. And let's see, Honda Jet has experienced 8 runway excursions in the last 22 months at the time of this writing. And I think this was, February 28, 2025 when this was written. So within the last year, 8 runway excursions. Are these merely statistical coincidences attributed? Wow, it's 3 difficult words all in a row. Statistical coincidences attributable to individual pilot errors, as opined by supporters of the jet, or do these reflect a design with challenging handling characteristics as suggested by others? These are important questions best answered by solid data, objective investigations, and the application of human factors engineering seeking to optimize the pilot vehicle interface. The most recent runway excursion occurred, before this one we just reported, December 6, 2024, during landing in Muskegon, Michigan. Information from the Aviation Safety Network indicated that the Honda HA420 Honda Jet experienced an excursion when landing on runway 24. The aircraft struck the 3,000-foot remaining runway sign. The latest METAR reported winds were light at 3 knots, so the winds weren't really a factor.
At least he knew how far he had to go.
Yeah, it was very evident. Well,
I drive a Honda.
Let's see, Logan in our live audience. I drive
what are the
a Honda
brakes like,
Pilot.
Logan?
Well, it's close. Honda Pilot, that usually has something to do with flying, but in this case, it does not. So, yeah. Oh, well, close. Well, we could probably still ask him his opinion about this. So I'm sure he has one.
Well, he's a pilot. Of course he has.
I'm sorry. I had to cough a little bit. I had a little chest congestion trying to make its way up my windpipe. All right. Let's see. Unfortunately, a high-speed runway excursion after a takeoff attempt at Mesa Falcon Field on November 5th resulted in 5 fatalities. The pilot and 3 passengers were fatally injured, along with a single occupant of an automobile that was struck. Oh, I think we covered this one.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're definitely looking into this trend of excursions involving this jet, and I don't know a heck of a lot about it, except that I don't believe it has thrust reversers. I think it has like a basic spoiler assembly on the very end, like the back of the tail, below the rudder assembly. I think it's like one of those clamshell things that pop out to kind of help with the deceleration, but I don't believe it really provides a heck of a lot of drag. So you're basically, and I don't think they have spoilers either on the wings. So you have a situation where most, not most, but a lot of, especially airliners and business jets, a lot of business jets have spoilers on the wings, so that at a certain point during the touchdown, the spoiler panels will come up, which spoils the lift. So it keeps the lift from, the wing from generating lift, which basically puts all the weight down on the main gear, and then the main gear braking takes, and you get much more effective braking when all the weight is on the main gear assembly. And again, these engines, it's an interesting design. They're mounted on the wings, although if you look at a picture, it looks like it's a typical business jet with the 2 engines mounted on either side of the tail.
Oh, they're on
the
upward
back.
pylons.
But there are actually pylons on top of the wings
wings
that pop them up, and it's a very interesting design.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they've had issues with directional control of the airplane on the ground at high speeds, especially during
Interesting,
landing.
isn't it? I noticed that they corrected the lack of spoilers on the Elite 2 version of this
did they?
aircraft. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if this one did or not. Probably not, because
Yeah.
they haven't mentioned that. But I still don't quite understand why you should run off a runway just because you don't have thrust reversers and you've got small tires or whatever with a small contact area, because the whole point of doing your landing distance calculations so that it doesn't matter what size your tires are or whether you've got reversers or not. If you do the calculations on the weather and the runway condition and the weight of the aircraft and the speed of the approach, etc., you'll get a landing distance that's safe, and you won't attempt to land unless you're very silly, unless you are sure that you're going to be able to stop, and that's with usually about a 15% safety factor as well. So I don't accept that this airplane is dodgy because it's got a lack of stopping facilities, because if you do your calculations right, and Honda should be providing this information for their pilots, they can calculate a landing distance and they can work out whether it's safe to land or not, just like any airliner or aircraft would, if you want. But I suspect it's more of a directional control issue, personally. And if pilots are having problems with the aircraft getting squirrely on landing and possibly diverging, they're not going to be able to apply full braking. And that may be a factor why aircraft are running off the end of the runway, for example.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what? Just a brief pause, or not pause, but pause in our coverage of this news article, because we have noticed that Dr. Steph is now with us in the green room, and so we're going to bring her on and say hello.
Hey guys.
That's
Dr.
not
Steph.
very
Hello.
green, that room.
No,
Oh,
it's
it is
more
a bit green.
Well, it's
that's
sort of
right.
green.
It's light blue.
Blue-green.
Light blue,
Yeah,
okay.
it's definitely
If you
a light
squint,
blue.
yeah, it's kind of green.
The blue room.
I
We'll
don't
have to call it the blue room now, Jeff.
The blue room.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
Oh, how are you?
Yeah, sorry, I was here earlier, but I had no audio coming into my headphones for some reason, and the usual fix for that is just to shut everything down and start it back up, and that worked perfectly. So, I
Always
don't
a
know.
great fix for a computer device, right? Just
Yeah,
shut her down and restart
it's
it.
been a day for computer stuff too. So, I don't know. It's like awesome.
Well, it must be you then.
Maybe, I don't know. This was the other computer issue was a nationwide outage of the particular program, one of the particular programs that we use at work. That was like an hour and a half worth. And then
we'll let you off the hook for that one then.
I didn't have anything to do with that one. I wasn't really even at work when that occurred. I just caught the tail end of it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we'll learn more from your woes once we get to the
there's
getting to know us
been
segment.
some things today. So, and they're not over
Yeah.
yet. So if I leave suddenly to answer the phone, I'm
Okay.
sorry in advance.
Gotcha. All right. Completely understandable. So, Steph, because this Honda jet is made, I don't know if they're all made in the Carolinas or not, but I think they are.
I don't know if they are anymore.
Greensboro?
Certainly when I was, Greensboro area, when they were first doing all their certification for the new type and everything, we'd hear a lot of the test flights because I did a lot of my instrument and commercial training up in the Winston-Salem area. So you'd always hear Honda test. So, to Captain Nick's point, I was listening a little bit there. I'm sure they have all that data for parameters for, max crosswind, tailwind components, landing distance, all of that's going to be there. This jet has been around for a decent amount of time now. So, I'm not sure what else to add to that you guys haven't already discussed.
Yeah, in this article from Aviation Week, it was an interesting couple of paragraphs here. Dr. Sheldon Barron worked on aircraft control for decades at the famed NASA Langley Research Center and subsequently appointed as a member of the prestigious National Academy of Sciences and National Research Council Committee on Human Factors. He wrote a book, Human Factors in Aviation. He provided an important insight and historical perspective into why innovative aircraft configurations with different dynamic characteristics have experienced persistent difficulties with PIOs, which is pilot-induced oscillations. He goes on, each of our limbs has specific properties in terms of its strength, response rate, ability to make large versus small movements. This is important when considering the use of the legs for steering control, which is typically what we do at the first part of the landing and rollout. We're using the rudder pedals or legs to make small movements and control the direction of the jet going down the runway. This is important when considering the use of the leg. The legs are large and capable of powerful movements. The legs are less adept at making the fine motions required for a jet with sensitive steering qualities. This is further complicated due to varying lengths of legs, seat adjustment, both of which modify the legs' reactions, place feet at potential angles, which could inadvertently result in forward flexion, or flexion, I guess, maybe, called plantar flexion.
Plantar
Depending on flexion, okay. Depending on foot placement, this could apply pressure to the upper portion of a rudder pedal. That's where the brakes are, resulting in inadvertent brake pressure. Those with tail dragger experience can quickly understand the absolute importance of foot placement to prevent the unwanted consequences of foot flexion. Thus, the ergonomics of the seat, the rudder pedal position, varying leg lengths, foot size, all that can complicate aircraft handling on the ground. So anyway, I guess they're looking into all these possibilities here for the design of the Honda's rudder pedals and brakes and directional control systems. Neil has a question in our live audience. Is that just for noise reduction, or do they get some Coanda effect by having the engines mounted?
Oh, Neil's showing off.
Coanda effect. What the heck is that?
That.
I think. No,
I
think it's
believe
Rwanda.
the Coanda effect is a rotating body or airflow around a circular body that creates lift. Would be a Coanda effect.
The tendency of a fluid to stay attached to a curved surface.
Yeah. Okay. So you got to. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's exactly why they did it.
No. I think because Neil, because if they stuck them on the bottom, they'd be scraping along the ground.
Yeah, that was a design. The original version had them like coming from underneath, but yeah, they didn't get very far.
They could have mounted them on the tail, of course, on the back of the fuselage. Or
well, that would be unique.
Would be more conventional.
Yeah.
But I suspect the ease of getting fuel out of the wing tanks into the engines probably made them think, oh, this would be simple. We'll just stick them on top.
I have read articles regarding this and why they chose this for their design, which was a little bit unconventional, but I guess there have been cases of this kind of engine mounting and placement in the past, but it's something we haven't seen, relatively recently until the Honda Jet surfaced. Anyway, and the good thing about this particular incident in Coos Bay in Oregon is the fact that the water was relatively shallow. The water that they ended up in, 5 feet deep, I think. They got out and they were able to stand on the floor, on the well, I guess the bottom of I guess it would be the floor. In this case. So, but there were some injuries, as I mentioned. Not sure exactly how extensive, but anyway, the nose, I don't know what happened there, but anywho, okay.
I'm trying to think,
and then
wasn't
Steph
there
is
a
going into a
German-
lot of detail with Micah regarding 2 types of flexion. Wow.
Sorry, that was a
German
sidebar
aircraft.
conversation. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was a private conversation. I should not have mentioned.
Oh,
But-
sidebar.
Oh, sidebar. Okay, not private. But Neil, we are really impressed with your knowledge of the Coanda effect. It's noted. Here, let me ring the bell.
It's only because he listened to one of my plane tales.
Oh, is that why? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It was
Well, I'm
to do
surprised
with
you
flying
didn't mention that
saucers.
before he did. No? Okay.
Nick is humble. Captain Nick is humble.
I am.
Yes, so humble.
Indeed.
All right. Let's continue, shall we? With this. Yep. Yeah, I know. I'm almost ready to play that one. This is from themirror.com. But this didn't happen anywhere in the UK. This is something that happened in Boca Raton. Kind of a tragic flight. There was a Cessna 310R that killed 3 people. The headline, Bizarre Flight Path of Boca Raton Jet Mapped Before Fiery Crash in Florida. And let's see, animation shows the alleged path of a small plane that crashed in Boca Raton. So I guess maybe we'll play the local news reporting of this incident first. And at the very beginning, it shows just a little bit of the top part of the aircraft before it hit the ground. And then they go into a little bit more detail.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Number 3, the second deadly air emergency in just 2 days. You can see the flames in South Florida earlier this afternoon. This plane crash in Boca Raton killed 3 people and hurt a 4th person. That 4th person was driving in the area at the time. Investigators think a mechanical issue caused the plane to go down.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
This shocking chopper crash in New York City was breaking news yesterday at 4 in this new...
Okay, why are we talking about that? I don't know. We'll cut that out. By the way, I'm really confused. So let's see. The first article is from The Mirror, a UK publication. Or no, The Mirror US. I guess it's their US office. And then that video that we just played a little bit of is from CBS News in Minnesota. It's like everybody's really focused on Boca Raton for some reason. Okay, let's continue with this article. 3 people died when a small plane crashed on a road in southwest Florida on Friday morning. Plane, a Cessna 310, went down near the Boca Raton airport around 10:20 local time. Flight data from Flight Radar 24 shows the aircraft made several circles in the airspace above Boca Raton airport before ultimately crashing. It crashed on North Military Trail and caused at least 1 car to catch fire. Images from the scene show. A driver was injured when he ran his car into a tree due to the debris and fire. Images from the scene show the burned out car pinned against 2 trees with the surrounding area doused in white foam. Debris from the plane can be seen strewn across the road. And Michael LaSalle says from Boca Fire Rescue that the aircraft had apparently some mechanical issues. Yeah. Let's see. So, let's see. Update. The victims were a teenage girl and her 2 family members. The teen was identified as Brooke Stark, 17 years old. The other 2 adults were identified as Robert Stark, 81, and Stephen Stark, 54. So, looks like they're all, a couple of different, 3 generations of the family there. Liz, I'm sure you've already shown the some of the graphics from the flight path. Can you show the 3D graphic one? Should be another one in there. No, I guess maybe it never made it in there. I have it in Evernote. I added it. Sorry, I should have told you. There was a graphic that kind of showed had a 3-dimensional view of how not only this is what we're seeing now that Liz is showing us on the video, which we'll have in the show notes, the bird's eye view of the flight path of this aircraft. And shortly after it took off, it looked like it made a quick left turn and then kind of circled over the top of the runway. And then it does a whole bunch of cloverleaf looking maneuvers, and in the 3D path, you'll see that it's not at a steady altitude, it's going up and down as well. It looked like a very crazy, all left turns, crazy roller coaster, and turning left and going up and down, and obviously something keeping the pilot from controlling it in a normal way. So something must have, I don't know. Who knows?
Something preventing it from doing right turns. So
or
that
even
could be
leveling, straight level. Just something. And very strange. It's not something you see very often when you see aircraft accidents. This kind of a pattern, but it looks like whoever's at the controls of this aircraft was doing their darndest to try to maintain control. Let me see. I have another video. Let me pop that one up there, and we can kind of track the thing. I think it was from Flight Radar 24. Let me hit the play on this one. It's going kind of in a very fast motion right now, but you can see how the whole thing was just a series of left turns, and then finally couldn't get it back close enough to the airport, and they had to try to attempt to land on a highway or a road, I guess, North Military Trail. What do you guys think?
Well, smacks of a control restriction, I guess, because I can't think of any other reason why you just keep on doing circles to the left.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch. I think Blanco Lirio actually has an episode out on this as well. And if I remember correctly, at least from I'd started to go to watch it and then just ran out of time just to see what his thoughts were on it as well. But it sounds like the pilot was also aerobatic trained, so whatever was going on was sufficient enough that someone with that background and training was unable to work their way out of it.
So the point is that this person probably a little bit more skilled in aircraft in unusual
Handling maneuvers, unusual
Handling,
attitudes.
yeah.
Sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. There's, like I said, he's got an article out there. It sounds like maybe he's got more information as to what actually occurred. I haven't watched it, unfortunately. But yeah.
Well, Liz is saying, because I don't think you're on Unity, that
I had to exit it.
Juan said something about perhaps maybe a gust lock was still installed or jammed or left on. Yeah, I don't think I actually watched that one, but I'll try to remember to get that and put that in our show notes as well. Juan always does a very good job of in-depth analysis of these things.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, very sad. All right, let's move on to this next one. And this one is, let me make sure I have this right. Is it a test, Liz? Did I do something wrong? Okay. The title of this one, Liz, is Runway Too Short? Okay. So let's pop that up into there you go, already got it for me, thank you. A Delta Airlines, this happened in New York, at John F. Kennedy. A Delta Airlines Airbus A330-900, registration November 430 Delta X-ray, performing flight 47 from Amsterdam to New York, was cleared to land on runway 4 left, and was about to touch the ground when the flight crew went around, reported that they had gotten the notification in the cockpit that the runway was too short. 4 left is not a short runway. They positioned for another approach for runway 4 left and went around again from about 300 feet due to the same reason. The flight crew requested delay vectors, and after the communication with maintenance, decided to land on runway 31 left, which is their longest runway. After that, they landed safely and continued taxiing to the gate. So let's go ahead and give this a whirl. It's going to take a little bit for it to actually start because it's now it thinks I'm reading this. Speed reading. All right, here we go. It's happening, I'm thinking, right now. Yep. Maybe I didn't push the right button. Okay, let's see. Now it's working. Yes, I've done this before.
Pro Tower Delta 47 Heavy is with you. Unbound on 4 left.
Delta 47 Heavy, Kennedy Tower 1040 at 6, runway 4 left, clear to land.
4 left, clear to land, Delta 47 Heavy.
And Delta 47 Heavy, climb maintain 2000 and fly present heading.
Delta 47 Heavy, 2000 and present heading. Sorry about that.
Delta 47 Heavy, not a problem. Just want to enable the reason for the missed approach.
Yeah, we got a indication that runway was too short, so we have to figure out what's going on now.
Delta 47 Heavy, roger. Present heading up to 2000.
Present heading up to 2000.
Delta 47 Heavy, start the right turn heading 100.
Right turn 100, Delta 47 Heavy.
Delta 47 Heavy, contact 128.12 for the resequence.
2812, thank you.
I have to say, I'm pausing this for a moment. They were very, very pleasant here at John F. Kennedy International Airport Air Traffic Control. I mean, the whole thing is just pretty amazing. Yeah.
Pretty rare.
47 Heavy is looking on the go around level 2000. Right turn now 100.
Delta 47 Heavy, New York approach, Kennedy altimeter 2982, maintain 2000.
Maintain 2000, thanks.
Delta 47 Heavy, turn right heading 200.
Right turn 200, Delta 47 Heavy.
Okay, they're vectoring him back around for another attempt.
Delta 47 Heavy, altimeter 2982. Looks like they just came out with special weather. Juliet, please check the special. And what runway do you need now? Is something about 4 left wasn't long enough?
Yeah, we had a indication in the cockpit that was telling us that it wasn't. We still need 4 left. That's the longest one we can take, longest one you guys have.
Yeah, I mean, if you really needed it, I guess we have 3-1 left, but you want to do 4 left?
Affirmative. Yeah, we'll try 4 left one more time. We got plenty of gas in case we need 3-1 left. Hopefully we won't.
Roger that. Okay, Delta 47 Heavy, going to climb into 3,000 here. Plan out with 4 left, flighting 260.
260 and up to 3,000, Delta 47 Heavy.
Delta 47 Heavy, turn right 270.
270 now, Delta 47 Heavy.
This voice sounds familiar to me. I think I've flown with the
Delta
guy.
47 Heavy, what's your airspeed?
Right now we're showing 220.
Roger that. Delta 47 Heavy, let us know if you need anything else. You can go to final now again on 32-4.
32-4, thank you, sir. We'll let you know. Hello, final Delta 47 Heavy is with you, leveling at 3,000, heading 270.
Delta 47 Heavy, roger. Delta 47 Heavy, speed 210.
210 on the speed, Delta 47 Heavy.
Delta 47 Heavy, turn right heading 310.
Right turn 310, Delta 47 Heavy.
Delta 47 Heavy, speed 170.
170 on the speed now, Delta 47 Heavy.
Delta 47 Heavy, make the speed 160.
160 on the speed now, Delta 47 Heavy.
Delta 47 Heavy, you're 8 miles from Crystal, turn right heading 010, 3,000 to establish on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 4 left approach.
Okay, maintain 3,000, right turn 010, maintain that until establish on the 4 left approach, Delta 47 Heavy.
Okay, now they're
Delta 47 Heavy, Kennedy Tower, 19-1.
19-1, thanks for your help, Delta 47 Heavy.
No problem.
Hello, Tower, Delta 47 Heavy is with you, just inside over Roki for 4 left.
Delta 47 Heavy, Kennedy Tower, roger, you're following a 320, 4 miles ahead, you can begin reducing, wind 010 at 6, runway 4 left, clear to land.
4 left, clear to land, Delta 47 Heavy, thanks.
Okay, they're about to touch down.
Delta 47 is on the go around.
Yeah,
They're
indeed, Delta 47 Heavy.
on the go.
Just fly present heading up to 2,000 again.
Okay, 2,000 and present heading, Delta 47 Heavy.
Delta 47 Heavy, same issue?
Same issue.
All right, Delta 47 Heavy, just stay with me for now. Just present heading at 2,000.
2,000 present heading, Delta 47 Heavy, thanks.
Yeah.
She's still nice, and he sounds very,
turn heading
like,
100.
disappointed.
Okay, right turn now 100, Delta 47 Heavy.
Delta 47 Heavy, contact 135.9er.
And 135.9er, thank you.
What are we going to do with this guy?
And Delta 47 Heavy is with you, level 2,000 for the same issue.
Delta 47 Heavy, understood. We're going to try 4 right today. How's it sound?
That won't work at all.
You don't think it will work at all?
No, unfortunately, we're getting an error in the cockpit telling us that 4 left is too short.
So you don't want to try 4 right at all, or?
Yeah, we're showing that 4 right is shorter, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Essentially.
Yeah, exactly. I think it works out the worst. We're going to have to try 3 left. We're calling a company right now to find out what maintenance wants us to do.
All right,
It's shorter by like 4,000 feet.
Fly heading of 160, and let me know what you have planned as you call.
You got it. Thank you, sir. 160, Delta 47 Heavy.
All right, so they're flying around.
Delta 47 Heavy, speed your discretion to maintain 2,000, Kennedy altimeter 983.
Delta 47 Heavy, maintain 2,000.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was another pilot voice. They're running checklists, talking with
approach
company.
Delta 47, request slightly extended vectors so we got enough time to talk to maintenance here.
47 Heavy, understood. Fly this present heading, and I'll get that for you. If you'd like, I could get you 31 left. That's the longest, I think.
We're mostly looking at the winds. What are the current winds?
Current surface winds are 010 at 7.
So runway 4 would be the best for us right now, but we'll get back to you.
Understood, sir. Fly present heading delay there.
Present heading Delta 47.
I think the
And Delta 47 Heavy, I know you're on the phone here, but just so you know, winds seem to be shifting a little bit, 350X.
okay, I'm going to pause it again. The different voice there, I think, was because the original voice that we were hearing must have been the captain's voice, and the first officer was the pilot flying. And then I think the captain wanted to talk with maintenance on the other radio, so that's why we hear the other voice, which I believe is probably one of the first officer's voices. And it looks like the winds are now shifting a little bit more to the northwest, so that might have an impact on their decision making here.
Delta 47 copies. All right, Delta 47, we'd like to set up for runway 31 left if the winds are shifting more to the northwest.
Delta 47 Heavy, understood. Plan for runway 31 left. I'll get back to you on the approach.
Delta 47.
And Delta 47 Heavy, plan for ILS runway 31 left approach. Turn right turn, heading 220.
All right, copy. ILS runway 31 left, right hand turn to 220 Delta 47.
And Delta 47 Heavy, sorry to keep bothering you, but are you ready for the approach at this moment, or do you need some more delaying vectors?
We need a few delay vectors, Delta 47, thanks.
47 Heavy, understood, just advise when you're ready. Delta 47 Heavy, contact approach on 128.12, 2812 to help you in. Just let them know when you're ready.
Delta 47, 128.12, thanks. And Delta 47 Heavy, 2,000 feet, heading 220.
Delta 47 Heavy, thanks. Heavy, that's across.
Plan and go across, Delta 47 Heavy.
Across the final.
Delta 47 Heavy, left turn 280, intercept 31 left localized.
280, intercept the 31 left localized, Delta 47 Heavy.
Delta 47 Heavy, you're 10 miles from Meals, maintain 2,000 to establish localizer, but also make 31 left approach.
2,000 till Mills, clear for the approach, runway 3 left, Delta 31 left, Delta 47 Heavy.
2,000 to establish.
Sorry, and 2,000 still established.
And they're coming in.
Delta 47 Heavy, you're cleared on 31 left approach. Hopefully this works for you now, and contact Kennedy Tower 91. Thanks.
91, thanks for all your help, Sergeant. Delta 47 Heavy.
Bye.
And they're coming in to 31
Tower,
left.
Delta 47 Heavy is with you just outside of Zax for runway 31 left.
Delta 47 Heavy, Kennedy Tower, hello again. Wind 360 at 7, runway 31 left, clear to land.
Hello again, sorry about that. Clear to land, 31 left, Delta 47 Heavy.
They're building a relationship, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's a third date.
Delta 47 Heavy, traffic departs 4 left and traffic lands 4 right on a 2-mile final in Embraer.
Okay, we're looking for the traffic, Delta 47 Heavy.
And then it comes in, and then, oh, wouldn't you know it? They had to go around. No, actually, they didn't have to go around again.
Thank goodness.
They actually landed on 31 left, and that was it. Everybody lived happily ever after. Yeah. So I guess this is a system that is relatively new. That I don't know if it's Airbus that came up with it or another company in partnership with Airbus. I don't know. You know much about the system, Captain Nick? I know it wasn't in use on any of the airplanes, as far as I know, any of the airplanes that you were flying. But I think the 350 was one of the first ones to have the technology where there's some kind of a system that can, I don't know what kind of parameters it takes in, but it figures out whether or not the runway is going to be sufficiently long for takeoff.
Yeah,
and
I think
landing.
the 380 actually has it. So that would have been before the 350. The 350 came with it, and they've retrofitted it to the 330s now. So, and probably it'll become, classic incident prevention system on all their aircraft. But it consists of two components. There's an airborne component, which is the runway end overrun warning. And that kind of goes from 500 feet down to auto brake activation when you're on the runway. And it will shout at you that the runway is too short, and gives you a chance to fly a bulk landing, to do a go-around or fly a bulk landing, whichever is appropriate for where you happen to be when it happens. Once you're committed, you're on the ground and committed to stop, it'll give you the ROP, the Runway End Overrun Protection System, and that'll just shout at you to select, if you haven't already got it, max thrust reverse, and to select max braking. So on aircraft that do the clever brake to turn off, the aircraft is capable of judging how much braking you need to achieve a certain turn off. Then it'll just whack the brakes on pretty hard, I'm pretty sure, or you'll need to take over or select a higher brake setting on the auto brake system, depending on what you're doing with the aircraft. But they're both dynamic. They look at the aircraft's position in relation to the runway. They know the runway length. They know how much energy you've got. They know the wind from the inertials. They've got all the data. The aircraft's got all the data to calculate sort of in a live moment by moment calculation what runway you need to land and how much runway there is left. And it just, it shouts all these warnings at you and gives you prompts to take action if you're not using the aircraft's full capability to stop. So it's a very clever system. As an aside, it comes along with can come along with various other landing surveillance and monitoring functions. Like it will warn you if you're lining up on a taxiway instead of the runway. It does a whole bunch of other things as well. It's got an approach stabilized monitor. It's got altimeter setting monitors, so it can pick up the kind of relatively common errors that people make when they line up on the wrong bit of the airfield. They forget to set the right pressure settings on the altimeters, that sort of thing. But with regards to this particular incident, they've got the longest runway. There's absolutely no reason why the aircraft can't land. They obviously thought there was nothing much wrong with their approach because they weren't hugely fast, and I suspect because you can tell by their voices that they're going, well, there's something wrong with the damn airplane because that looked fine to us. And in fact, of course, I guess you can just do your own calculations and go, well, we'll ignore it or we'll turn it off. But they made two approaches, and in both cases, it told them to go around. I reckon that there's a database error here. So if in loading the system, someone's made a mistake on the runway length for this particular runway, then the aircraft will not know how long the runway is, and if there's an error, it makes the runway appear shorter than it is. We won't know. We can't see the runway. It's only a calculation. Someone puts the wrong data in, then it'll make a mistake in its calculation. They're selecting landing on 3-1. Well, it's actually not huge. It's quite close to 4 left's length, but there's a very long displaced threshold, which, of course, once you're good and visual, you can kind of cheat a little bit, land short of the threshold if you want to, and that's captain's discretion. He's got an issue with the aircraft of safety issues, so he could elect to do that, I guess, without incurring any comeback from the FAA. So yeah, he could even want almost use the full runway length, but no, it obviously let him land the second time. I suspect he could have landed on 4 right, because the aircraft doesn't actually need a huge runway length. They said it didn't need full runway length
Right.
on 4 left.
It's funny if it was a database error when he came, if, the one controller was like, well, do you want to try 4 right? And they're like, well, no, we need a longer runway. But if it was just a database error, 4 right might have been perfectly fine.
Perfectly
it might
sufficient.
well have
Yeah.
been perfectly fine, because I've landed on both those runways in the 340, which probably has a longer landing distance than the A330. Well, it does, I know.
So I'm not sure that you would know the answer to this, but I'm wondering how much interaction or user input is involved in this, or does it use strictly the information from some kind of a built-in database, and there is nothing that has to be input by the pilots, the humans, that was inadvertently or incorrectly entered?
That's a good question. I don't know whether it takes the runway from the box that you've typed in. Right, I'm going to land, I'm going to do an ILS on 24 left. I don't know whether it takes the information you've typed into the McDo to make the calculations, or whether it automatically recognizes just from the aircraft's position and what's ahead of it, what runway it is being asked to land on. So I don't know that answer.
I would imagine it was probably the latter, and like the enhanced ground proximity warning system, and has a database. And it's interesting that sometimes you'll fly into an airport where they have like a brand new runway and they haven't updated the EEGBWS database, and the procedure in that case is to like take that component of the system off so that it doesn't start screaming at you when you're trying to land, thinking you're not landing on a runway. So I'm wondering if that's the same kind of deal with this thing, where it just knows where you are and knows there's a runway there and should know how long the runway is. And apparently maybe there was
that's a question Stefan should be able to
Yeah.
answer for us. So if you're listening, Stefan, if you come back to us with a bit of feedback, that'd be very nice.
We did invite Stefan to join us today, but he's on a little bit of a trip. Looks like a nice little short vacation kind of thing going on. He can correct us, but he did mention that he was sorry that he couldn't make it today, but perhaps on the next episode he could join us. So yeah, he must have known. Well, he either thought that we were going to ask him information specifically about this, Liz, or maybe he thought we were going to be talking about World War I and World War II again. Which is what usually happens when he's on. We don't plan it that way.
Talking about the war.
It's just usually when we're in the midst of it, we go, oh, yeah, we probably shouldn't have been talking about this. Anyway. Mm-hmm. No? Okay. Okay. Why don't we go directly to, okay, is there anything else in here that would be really interesting to talk about? Yeah, let's just go. Yeah, let's just go to K. This is a good one. That's okay. No, that's not okay. It's just K. All right. Next one here. Oh, we have, this is the contractual obligation that we have that Liz has entered into with Paddle Your Own Canoe. Yep. Okay. So pilots with beards? New study says it's totally safe, busting long-held oxygen mask myth. Now, before I start reading this, I know that Nick will have plenty to say about this, because I don't believe that you ever shaved your beard when you were actively flying for Virgin Atlantic Airways, right?
No, once I got through the interviews.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, actively flying the line.
No, I flew with a beard. Yeah.
Yeah. Indeed. So I guess, there have been places around this world that have come to this conclusion. Yeah. Now, Air Canada, a little bit later, our Canadian regulatory authority allowed it a few years back. In fact, we covered it on our show. And we were saying, okay, come on, FAA, let's do something about this. Obviously, it's not a big deal. So a new study has just shattered the myth that pilots can't have beards because their oxygen masks wouldn't work properly. There's a growing chance that more pilots could be allowed to sport facial hair after a new study by a leading aeronautical university debunked the widespread theory that beards could wreck the effectiveness of special tight-fitting oxygen masks. The study, appropriately called, quote, Beard Length and the Efficacy of an Aviator Oxygen Mask, was published earlier this month in the Journal of Aerospace Medicine and Human Performance following an investigation by researchers at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. The researchers wanted to put the theory to the test by putting human guinea pigs. Well, I didn't know there were human guinea pigs. I just thought they were little tiny
Well,
rodents.
they'd be perfect because of all the fur on their faces.
Ah. They just had teeny tiny little masks.
Teeny tiny, yes, exactly.
Specific research species. Yeah.
Oh.
We have those.
Someone obviously had to shave some of the guinea pigs for the control. So that must have been difficult.
I think that's your show artwork, Nick.
Oh, boy, it's gotta have a guinea
try to
pig
figure
in
out how to
it.
get the guinea
yes,
pig
please,
at a
yes.
barber shop.
I could do
So,
that.
For a shave.
So they put humans in a hypoxia chamber, actually, to see whether facial hair would interfere with quick donning pilot oxygen systems designed to create an airtight seal around the pilot's face. Okay, and then it goes into, now we know this, everybody that listens to our show understands the difference between the oxygen masks that the pilot crew dons and the kind of masks that drop down from the passenger service units above you if you have a rapid depressurization event, because those are not meant to seal around your face. They're just there to provide. Oh boy, gosh darn! I accidentally used the word, and
You activated the Captain Nick.
I know, I did. I should have known better. Anyway, but for us, it's much more important that we get a good seal, not only for the oxygen flowing in, but also in the case of like a fire smoke kind of a situation where, there's much more of a chance that the oxygen could fuel the fire. So have to be sure that the system has a very, very tight seal. And turns out that, they put 24 volunteers in a hypoxia chamber to mimic the effects of decompression while flying at 30,000 feet, and tested 3 different beard conditions: clean shave, short beards, and long beards, more than 10 millimeters in length. Now, Captain Nick, show your face. How long exactly is your beard? Is it 10 millimeters or?
At the moment, it's about it's just over a centimeter, I'd say.
Okay, which would be 10 millimeters, right?
Yeah, 10, 11,
base
12
10.
millimeters, something like that.
Yeah, okay. So that
I grow it out to about 2 or 3 centimeters, about an inch before I shave it back a little bit tighter than that.
Okay, well, Captain Nick is a great representation of that third group, the longer beards, longer beard length. Volunteers with the beards took no more time to don the oxygen masks than the clean-shaven participants. I wouldn't think that would have been even a question. Why would it take you any longer?
All those long beard hairs getting caught up in the... No, that's...
Ow! Pinching. And researchers found no difference in the arterial saturation percent of oxygen between any of the volunteers during the decompression-like conditions. Let's see. Flight deck oxygen systems are also designed to protect pilots from the effects of smoke or noxious fumes. So researchers then exposed the volunteers to highly volatile smelling salts while wearing the masks. None of the participants were, however, able to detect a smell while wearing the mask. Oh, yeah. Well, that's definitely a use for the oxygen system, Liz. And if there's some kind of noxious, toxic gas emitted by any of the other crew members in the cockpit.
We just opened the door.
Well, we can't do that. But you can. Yeah, that's a good idea. In a discussion of the results, the researchers concluded these results support the contention that airline pilots with beards of any length would not be... What if they had like 3 feet long beards? I mean, I would think that would impact it.
What about like some dreads going on?
Yeah. So I guess they didn't kind of test all those possibilities, but normal beards, I think, will work just fine. So will the airlines finally let pilots fly with beards? And they're talking, I guess, specifically about the North American pilots. And they said, well, Air Canada commissioned its own research into the issue back in 2016, and then they finally dropped their prohibition on pilots having facial hair because they had the same kind of results that this study had. In the United States, the FAA has no issue with pilots having beards. Well, I thought it was an FAA thing, but I guess not. Major carriers, including American, Delta, United, do not allow their pilots to have facial hair. So it's the actual airlines themselves that prohibit it. So
beards
that's
are
a
fine.
grooming issue.
I'm sorry, mustaches are fine, not beards.
Yeah,
though.
mustaches are, I guess, are authorized facial hair.
I feel like I see a lot more mustaches these days too on airline pilots, especially the younger set.
It's because they make the best pilots. I mean, we've said that many times on the show. Yeah.
But
and
if
that
you
includes the female pilots as well.
The moustache is only part of what makes you a good pilot, Jeff. You need the full set to be the best pilot.
Well, I mean,
you've
that's
only
debatable.
got like 1/3 of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can always hope for being better in the future at some point. Although I did try to grow a beard at one point, and I gave up. I was a wimp. Yeah. Now that I'm not actually a real airline pilot anymore, it doesn't matter. So,
no, exactly right. The Royal Navy have allowed pilots, their fighter pilots, to fly with a full set, a full beard, and have done for years and years and years because that's it's permitted in the Royal Navy, and their guys never had any problems. I did hear of a French pilot who used to wax his moustache a great deal. And he actually, because wax, oils, and oxygen will self-combust. And he actually got third-degree burns of his face when his moustache caught fire because he was breathing pure oxygen.
we were taught, if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Captain Nick, if this is the case with your experience. When I was flying jets like the trainers, we wore the oxygen masks the whole time we were flying. They warned us to not use chapstick for that same reason.
Oh, right. No, I hadn't heard that one. No, I hadn't heard that one, but I can see why. I mean, that's oil and oxygen are a bad mix. But the Royal Air Force allowed the growing of beards a year or two ago. So they obviously came to the similar conclusion that it wouldn't affect the oxygen mask that their pilots wore. So I think it's very much a fashion thing. So young men, there's a whole raft of young men who like to have beards, and I don't see why that should be a problem.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, getting back to the chapstick on the lips thing, that's actually, interestingly, how the character in the MASH series, Hot Lips, got her nickname because she was wearing. Just kidding.
And then breathing oxygen.
I'm sorry.
No, I thought it referred to something else, but
no, it didn't. It had all to do with oxygen masks and.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Chapstick.
Fair enough.
Okay. Let's move it along before we get in any more trouble, and let's get to know us.
Sending us letters.
Getting to know
Too
us.
late.
It's the segment of the show. Too late? Oh, darn. Where we get to go, and talk to HR. Now, where we get to know what we have been up to between shows, and I know we're going to start with Steph because I know she's been very busy. In fact, so busy that she couldn't join us on the last episode. And why is that?
I missed you guys on the last episode because I was planning to be here until about 1:30 that morning because you recorded on Saturday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And let's see, you can't see in the background, but both of my small dogs are like passed out on the floor back here. But typically in the middle of the night, one of them will have to get up to go outside. And I don't know why that is. I give them plenty of time before we go to bed. Seems like one or the other will have to relieve themselves around,
Do they decide a roster beforehand? Which one's going to
it's
have
never
the
the
job
same
of
one,
waking you
and
up?
it never alternates exactly, but one of them will every time. I don't know. It's a thing. So it was about 1:30 in the morning. One of them, I don't remember which one anymore, had to go outside. So fine, get up, let them out, do their thing, come back in, go to lay back down, and notice that I have a text message. I was like, oh, that's weird. And it literally just come through from one of my coworkers, a fellow jumper dumper, said, kind of a queasy feeling in their stomach from the night before. Wasn't sure if it was something they ate. Wanted to know if anyone was paying attention to text messages last minute, could cover in the morning. And I was awake, and I was like, I don't know if anyone else is actually going to see this text at 1:30 in the morning. So I said, sure, I'll be there. So I, went down and I know, and ended up not doing a ton of flying though, because I looked at the weather. Weather was supposed to be beautiful. The weather when I woke up was overcast at like 700 feet, which is not very conducive to jumping out of airplanes.
Low altitude drops.
I don't think the weather's going to stop you. But...
Very low altitude. Well, it's not going to stop you. I mean, the clouds aren't going to stop you. They're not a hard barrier, but if you want to do any sort of accurate spotting and make sure you're landing in the correct place, it's not ideal.
No. Yeah.
And then, it did end up clearing up, and then got a couple of loads up, and then it got windy after that. So, and the wind was in the forecast, so we were thinking it was only going to be a morning thing anyway. But I was there for a little while, and then the pilot who needed someone to get the day started, I guess was feeling better at some point in the evening, slept for a decent number of hours, and came down and finished out the day. But mostly they sat around a bunch too, because we didn't do a ton. So, but I ended up missing the show for that. I'm sorry. So. I missed you guys,
yeah,
but
we did miss you.
I know.
Yeah, you've been busy doing other things as well, I think.
Yeah, I was up in Boston after that. So actually it was later that same evening. Caught a flight up there, and then I was not running the marathon this past Monday, which is what was happening in Boston. I'm sure a lot of people do know that. But the running team that I run with my coach had almost 50 athletes participating in the race this year. And I know probably over half of them personally at this point. So I just thought it would be fun to go up and have the day and spectate and enjoy the race. So got up there for Sunday morning, there's always a group shakeout run. So joined them for that. We go to coffee afterwards. I should have been paying attention. I should have gone to the Red Sox game on Sunday, because I didn't really have a ton else to do in the afternoon. But I messed that up and didn't do that. And then actually ended up watching the race with one of my very best friends who lives in the New Hampshire area. She came down to watch a few of her friends run, and we caught up a little bit, and then I came back. And then it's just been back to work. So yeah, it's been fun. That was how I spent Easter weekend. Happened today. Oh, today. Yeah, gosh. Today was not as enjoyable of a day. Actually, it started off great. I actually did not have a very busy day at work, so that's why I said, if we could make it work out, I could get here for. And actually, I'm checking my phone right now because I just got a message, but it's okay. It's not what I was waiting for. Thought I would be here in plenty of time to at least join for most of the show, which actually did end up happening, so that's good. But I had a little extra time this morning, and I was like, great, I'm finally going to get the oil changed on my car because I've been putting that off for too long. And as I was pulling in, I went to work out this morning, swam, came home, got ready. Still pretty early. They open at like 7:30, so I was there like at 7:15 waiting for them to open. And as I pull into the service bay, one of the warning lights comes up and says low tire pressure, and I was like, oh, well, that's odd, but also good timing. So I got out of the car, and the guy says, why are you here? I was like, well, I'm here for an oil change, but you go find out why the right rear tire says low pressure. Literally just came on. walked around and found this, looks like a very large staple, like you would see in like a pallet or like a large cardboard box or something, just jammed into the tire. So, and then, so they're like, well, gosh, do you want us to plug that now? It's like, I really only have time for the oil change. I actually do have to go to work. It's like, no problem. You can bring it back any other time, that's in a spot where it's possible to just do a patch or a plug for it. It's like, great. And then I drove to work, and then I found another similar staple in another tire, which fortunately was not leaking air. And so on the way back home today, I just dropped the car off to get the tires repaired because
Wow.
I don't have a spare at the moment because the spare is taking the place of the tire that was actually leaking air, and the other one's got a nail staple something wedged in it. So didn't think that was a great idea.
Need to
So now I'm waiting on a call.
Where staples
I'm waiting on a call to go pick my Jeep back up from the dealer. So yeah, I need to stop doing that. That's for sure.
Were you buying office supplies like at Staples?
No, I had two different thoughts. One was on my way to work out at the pool this morning. I drove through. They were doing quite a lot of construction very early. And I was like, well, maybe I just drove through some debris. But now that I think more about it, I think it happened yesterday on my way home from work. There was kind of just a bunch of debris that I couldn't identify on the interstate, and I couldn't maneuver around it because of cars that were next to me, on the side of me, behind me. And it didn't look like a ton of stuff. I just kind of went through it. So I think it was that.
Yeah. Wait, I have to play this for what Liz just said. And I'll take that gap out.
Yes. We'll
in
fix
post.
it in post.
Yeah, I'll fix it.
So yeah, that's been my day. And then I think I mentioned the computer issues already. So yeah, and then I was worried. I was like, well, now I got to I definitely have to drop the car back off. I can't not do that. I can't keep driving it around with two tires potentially out of commission. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
a
right.
rough
I do
ride
like
when you don't have
I
the
do like
rubber on the rim.
Yeah, exactly. Well, fortunately, the one it was not actually losing any air. I do appreciate modern technology in cars that gives you real time tire pressure. So I can just pull that up on the
I was going to say
see
that
it.
usually the case, it's like the TPMS is just giving you a bad indication.
Well, usually, and I
in
thought
this
that's
case,
maybe
it
what
was
it was. No, it was this was real indication. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Steph. Glad you could make it with us today. Captain Nick, have you done anything between shows?
No, I've actually been feeling very well. I had to have an inoculation, a shingle, my second half of the shingles jabs, and that one has made me feel a bit crook. Yeah, it's still sore, and that was a couple of days ago, but I've just been fluey and tired and feeling a bit grim, but I'm sure I'll get over that. I certainly got over it enough to take a picture of Rugger. Now, I've got a couple of dogs. The smooth Wiesler called Zeta, and this is our old boy. Rugger turned 12 years old
12
today.
years old.
He's 12 now, so
Nice.
yeah, I know. He looks great up there in the garden amongst the spring flowers. So he's a lovely old fella, and he's getting a bit deaf and a bit blind. So, but we're looking after him and making sure. Yes. Making sure he has to take a run up the stairs now to get up it. Oh dear. So anyway,
the last time I was at your place, I had to do the same thing. Yeah,
I don't blame you. But apart from that, no, there's nothing else really happening. The bowling season has started, but I haven't gone to the club yet. But it only started a few days ago because the weather we've had a few rainy days, so. And I've been a bit busy, but I shall certainly be getting up there and starting playing. Yes, cover art. Thanks, Liz. APG 659. We have some great suggestions. Gun with a license, Bonanza open door policy, over Boston Tea Party, and home to the chickens. But the one that I liked was pilot vibe for a cool pilot. So there we have got what we think is an extremely cool pilot. So Cool Pilot Vibe was the title, in kind of cool blue to start for the cool bit and turning hot. We like that. So I secreted the show number on our Cool Pilots t-shirt there, and it's sort of at right angles to its normal orientation. So you'd have to have a close look to see that, 659. And then the logo, and then the logo was up where a Ray-Ban logo would go
Super
on
tiny.
her sunglasses. So I would really like to have a pair of APG Pilots glasses
Oh,
with
wouldn't
an
that be nice?
APG. Wouldn't that be cool? Yes.
Ray-Ban,
That would
if
look-
you're out there,
Yeah, help us out, Ray-Ban. Fix that for us. So that was the artwork. It was a quick and cheerful one because I was very short of time, sadly, but got it done now.
Great job.
And
Thank you for
looking forward to some suggestions for this week, please.
Yeah,
good.
Gonna have to do something with
The guinea pig at the
I'm
barbershop.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yes, guinea
not sure what
pigs,
could be
yes.
better than that.
I think we definitely can have some guinea pigs.
Oh, okay. Liz seems to think that she has a better idea. Yeah, she's got a contender.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
And for myself, again, just of course this past weekend. So that was Saturday. We recorded the show. Later that evening, later that day, and early evening, I was at the church again for the biggest Mass of the year, the Easter Vigil Mass. And that was a little over 3 hours long, I believe. If you do all the readings that are involved in a Easter Vigil Mass, I think there are like 7 separate readings and then psalms, singing in between each one. The Easter Vigil Mass can last, way more than 3 hours. So in this case, and for most of the parishes I've been to, I think all of the parishes I've been to since I've been Catholic in 2020, basically pick 3 or 4 of the readings. So we did 3, I believe, on Saturday night. Anyway, so I don't know if I mentioned it on the show, but I had a little bit of a scratchy throat that day, and it got worse in the afternoon. I'm thinking, I should be okay. I can still talk and I can still sing. A lot of pollen here, and the pollen that gets me is not the stuff that's over all the cars, all the yellow stuff that you see, because that's the pine pollen, and that's so big, I think it just doesn't bother me. It does bother some people, but for me, the stuff that comes after the pine trees do all their stuff, some of the other trees and the grasses.
I had issue with something last week too, like not the yellow stuff, but very similar. It was like, I was fine until
it's a much smaller little pollen particle, and whatever it is, it just usually gets to me. And wear a mask around. No, that's all right. So sang a lot on the Easter Vigil Mass, and then the next day I got up in the morning and I had a really sore throat, and I'm thinking, okay, let me see if I can make any sound. And I tried to talk and sing a little bit, and I went, oh yeah, this is not going to work, because I was supposed to be attending 3 masses on Sunday morning, and I had to call up my director, Jane, and say, I'm sorry. And she could hear that my voice was not. Immediately she goes, okay, don't worry about coming in, and if you feel a little bit better in one of the later masses, then come in, but don't worry about it. And I didn't go at all on Easter Sunday. Yeah, and then the afternoon, because Jane and her husband Chuck and the entire family have kind of adopted me into their family, which is wonderful. They invited me to, and they didn't do any kind of a big production, like making all kinds of stuff, because everybody is so involved with with music and the music ministry at the church that just had no time at all to make anything for an proper Easter dinner. So they met at a Ted Turner's Montana Grill. It's a chain restaurant, and Ted Turner is the owner and proprietor. I've never been to one, and I had a nice salad, trying to be good, and it was very tasty, very good. And so it was nice meeting up with the Jacksons, and that was and by that point I could actually, have my voice was almost, not completely, but mostly recovered, and so I could talk and stuff. So and that was Sunday. And then it's been kind of lay low. I was still kind of feeling the effects of and taking a lot of medication, because what happens with me is this stuff in my head that gets down in my chest, and then that can be a dangerous thing, especially for an elder person like me. So I started taking some Mucinex DM, the stuff that's supposed to help with the chest congestion. I still have some. You may have heard it already. I'm hopefully going to have all this cut out of the audio only podcast, so you don't hear. Well, I'm not going to cut my lungs out, but I'm going to cut the sounds that my lungs are making. A little bit of wheeziness there and coughing and stuff, but I'm hopefully in the latter stages, because tomorrow I'm going to be singing a lot again. 2 funerals, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and then a special prayer service for the remembrance and prayers for our recently departed Pope, Pope Francis. It's going to be tomorrow evening. And then more singing on Saturday, and then lots of singing on Sunday as well. So it's going to be another jam-packed weekend of singing, which is wonderful. I enjoy singing so much. So that's pretty much just singing for me, and that's it. Quick coffee fund. Well, okay, let's talk about the coffee fund and sing about it.
Johnny, how much more coffee? No thanks.
I love coffee. I love tea. I love the APG community. Coffee and tea and the child and me. A cup. Okay, not 100% yet, but the coffee fund. It's your way to support us financially if you have the resources to do so. A couple of different ways to do that. One is the Coffee Fund Classic method, which is essentially, most people use it for like a one-off, two-off, whatever, every now and then contribution to the show. And there are a handful of people that use it as a recurring donation method as well. And we do appreciate all of you for that and your generosity. And then we didn't have any contributors between this show and the last. And we don't have any new patrons either, but that's another way you can become part of the Coffee Bar Club. You can be a patron of the show using patreon.com. And you basically pledge a certain amount per episode. And then, you're charged at the end of the month. I think that's the way it works. Anyway, it gives you a good feeling to support us financially and keep doing what we're doing and motivate us and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in, at the first of the month, okay. So if you're interested in joining us in the Coffee Bar Club, please head over to airlinepilotguy.com/coffee. You'll be glad you did, and we will too. Okay. Oh, Main Man Micah says his beard turned 50 years old last week. It hasn't been fully shaved since 1975. I'm guessing that most of those hairs are
beard's
probably
like the
new.
50-year-old broom, where the guy replaced the handle 10 times and the brushes 15 times.
It's a technicality.
Yeah. Okay. Well, happy Beard Day then, I guess.
Excellent.
Beardversary.
Do you have a beard birthday?
Is that a potential show title? Happy Beardversary? I don't know. Beard Day? Happy birthday to you. Okay, we can talk about that after we finish this. Let's see. So I guess now we can go to some feedback. I got one. I'm trying to get myself all set up for feedback over here in Evernote. All right. Okay. Let's let her rip.
Captain, incoming message.
Thank you. All right. This first one from Kevin in Comox, BC. What is it called? Vancouver Island, I believe. Let's see. Wings. Okay, so he has an update. He's giving us information on the Martin Mars water bombers. Yeah, he's our local correspondent for Martin Mars. He sent us a photo of this Martin Mars with the wings removed for transport to a nearby museum in Arizona. It flew from Vancouver Island to here, which we covered in an earlier episode. So he's just giving us an update.
I think they took off more than just the wings. There's no engines, no fin, no tailplane. Yeah.
A lot of it is missing.
I don't know. I mean,
they're just going to display it like that in the museum. I hope they'll put it all back together.
If they were being delivered by Canadian mail service, they may never arrive.
Ouch.
Yes, ouch. All right. Well, thank you for the update, Kevin. We do appreciate that. He was a recent contributor using the Coffee Fund Classic method, and we do appreciate that, Kevin. But it's not a requirement for us to read your feedback. If you send in feedback, don't think you have to send us money. It's nice, but you don't have to. But Liz says she will accept money in personal favors. All right. Next one is from Steve, and the title of his feedback is Introduction. Hi, Captain Jeff and the crew. I thought I should introduce myself properly. I've been listening to the show for just over a year and have sent in some feedback in the past. Lovely the reply from Captain Nick about my smell still being on the Virgin 340 he took to Hong Kong. Yeah, he's nice in that way, isn't it?
It was a very pleasant smell, I'm sure.
It was a pleasant smell. But I don't think you mentioned that part of your observation in the episode when you exclaimed that. Anyway, getting back with Steve here. I'm coming up to retirement at the end of April and live in Warfield Park, Berkshire in the UK. Hey, he spelled that phonetically out I didn't do it exactly right. He says Berkshire. Really? Berkshire? Not Berkshire?
Berkshire.
No,
Okay.
it's not Berk. No, it's Bark.
Oh, okay. Well,
Bark,
I still screwed it up.
Bark.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that. I started my working career as an apprentice. I started my working career as an apprentice and then as a junior design engineer in the aircraft industry, working on Tornado, Harrier, Jaguar, Concorde, and the BAE 146. That high-wing four-engine regional kind of airplane.
Yeah.
Which I've actually ridden in as a passenger. Interesting.
I've sat in the flight deck and flown it. In fact, I did a stall.
The BAE 146?
Yeah, I was up at Hatfield doing some Hawk stuff. And,
when you were doing the test work.
Well, this was, I'm trying to remember what exactly it was, but we were doing some photography, air-to-air photography. And as a thank you, they said, we're going to do a test flight. Do you want to come along? So I got to fly it. And we were doing stalls and all sorts of things.
I have a question. This airplane has an unusual characteristic that maybe several, but the one that I'm thinking of is when you're sitting back around the wing area, and I'm imagining that maybe you could hear it up in the cockpit as well. When you're extending the flaps, and I don't know if it's like the latter portion of the flap extension or at what point it happens, but it changes the flow of air such that it makes a really weird sound. I mean, it's like it's an acoustic sound created by the flow of air around the flaps, almost like taking that candy that you buy at the movie theater, and then once it's empty, you blow into the end of it and make that horrible sound with the you know what I'm talking about? I don't know if, yeah. So if you're not expecting to hear something like that, especially a pilot who is kind of keen to hear things happening and, you know, listening to various sounds and making sure everything's okay, and then you hear this horrible sound, it gets your attention. I looked around and nobody else seemed to be concerned about it, so I thought, okay, maybe I shouldn't be either. But yeah, it's kind of it's like a, that's hard to describe. But is that something that you heard or recall at all?
No, I'm afraid not. No, the only thing I remember is that the balance of the controls was completely cockeyed. So normally you have, if you take hold of the controls, you would have a difference in force to move them of 1 to 2 to 4, in that roll would be 1, pitch would be twice as hard, 2, and rudders would be 4 times as hard. And that was considered the ideal ratio of, tension or pressure on the controls required to move them. And the 146 was incredibly light in pitch on the control column and incredibly heavy in roll. And I'm going, oh, gee, it's really hard to actually control this because you tend to porpoise in pitch, and while you're trying to crank the bank on, you know, you any slight movement, your muscles are tense trying to bank the damn thing, and any slight twitching in pitch, and the airplane was leaping up and down. So I didn't find it a particularly nice airplane to fly.
Huh. Sounds like
if there's any 146 pilots out there, you can tell me if they ever fixed that. But this was a fairly early production.
Sounds like you have to have a definite technique in flying the thing smoothly, huh?
Yeah.
Neil says, I flew back to Birmingham from Brussels in a 146. I don't remember that noise, but it was extremely cramped when full in the cabin. I don't know. Maybe my recollection is wrong, but I definitely... Maybe
sure
it's
it wasn't
only
coming from
like
the toilet.
Yeah, that might have been it. Yeah. I think that maybe it's only when they put it out, like maybe the full extension, and maybe they don't always put it out all the way, you know, maybe to avoid that horrible noise. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back with Steve's feedback here. I then went on to work on laboratory equipment and have designed and made equipment fundamental in the quick diagnosis of HIV and contributing to the breakthroughs now being made in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Wow.
Awesome.
That's great work.
Mm-hmm.
Most
particularly
recently
since both Jeff and I will need Alzheimer's medication before long.
Steve, keep in touch with us because
you can't Steve, you can't retire. I'm sorry, you're going to have to keep working on those innovations.
And monitor us closely.
Refine
Hopefully,
them,
watch the video and see if there are any early signs
or late signs. In Jeff's case,
shut up. Okay. Anyway, most recently working in the defense industry. As I'm coming up to retirement, if there's any small tasks I can help out with, well, we just mentioned you need to monitor
we
us
just gave you one.
for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. My mom had Parkinson's. He said he'd be happy to help. Thank you, Steve. Hoping to get a meetup sometime. Would also like to get to one of Captain Nick's talks. If there's one open to non-members of the various societies. Keep the blue side up. Kindest regards, Steve. And again,
that's great. Yeah.
From Berkshire.
By the way, most of the societies I go and speak to are very happy, even for just a nominal, fee for non-members to arrive, and of course they want to recruit you. But I've always asked. But if you let me know if you want to come to one, I can double check. And, of course, I'm sitting around doing nothing. I'm retired, Bill. So if you want to come down and have a beer, I'd be more than happy to, take you to my local, or I'll drive out somewhere and go find you a nice country pub.
Yeah, Steve. After you,
hopefully you'll have slipped me some medication, yes, to put in my beer.
That might be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Thank you, Steve. We got some video. from Ernest involving something that happened at Bananaville, Nashville, BNA. And Liz included this cute little comment. The latest in our sometime APG series, Wildlife on Runways. And this is something that happened in, as I said, at Nashville. So I'm just going to go ahead and hopefully get this movie to play, this video. Okay, it's so what we're seeing here is some wildlife. It's a coyote, and it's a road. Yeah, we need the roadrunner, or maybe the coyote is looking for the roadrunner. Can't seem to keep track of it. He's going to check over here on the side of the runway, and he's kind of looking at whoever's taking the video right now is looking like, why do you keep chasing me? Get away from me.
I was perfectly positioned right there on that piece of pavement to see everything I need to see.
You see, that's definitely Nashville. Nashville is not, and we've mentioned this on the show before, and I think that I'd asked Steph if she noticed, but she was paying attention to other things. But it's very, very hilly and lots of undulating taxiways and runways, and then not far from these hard surfaces are big drop-offs, as we just saw the coyote go down into one of the hollows. I think that's what they call them in Tennessee. Hollers. Yeah, that's it. I can't see anything. Where? Oh, help me. There you are. Thank you, Ernest, for sending. Oh, and let me read a little bit about that. A wild coyote got its moment of fame holding up flights at the Nashville International Airport. Our Sky 5 team, I guess their news helicopter, Sky 5, assisted BNA on getting the coyote off the runway. Coyotes have been digging under the fence of the airport hunting rabbits. While chasing the coyote off the runway, we were able to capture some grab shots and clips of the coyote, and that's from the News Channel 5 Sky 5 team helicopter. Very cool. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Here's some other helicopter feedback from whom? Sir Peter of Kent, looks like. South African R-44 crashed during liftoff after unsecured penguin fell on the controls. That happens all the time. Let's see. According to Sir Peter of Kent, the pilot should have tried to pick up the penguin. Okay. Oh, I see. Pick up a penguin. That must be some kind of a advertising campaign in the UK. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. A penguin has been a chocolate bar, a chocolate biscuit in the UK for many, many, many years, and pick up a penguin was a very common advert that they used to use.
Well, I did a pretty good job of it not ever having heard that. I just pick up a penguin. There's we have now a picture in the video and also in the show notes of the real penguin in a box. So
what is that, a rock hopper?
The type of penguin, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it's in South Africa, isn't it? So it's quite a warm country for a penguin.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Well, South African investigators have determined that the pilot of a Robinson R-44 did not assess the risk of transporting a live penguin in the cockpit before the aircraft crashed just after liftoff. None of the 5 occupants, a pilot, 3 passengers, and the penguin, was injured during the 19 January accident, but the helicopter was substantially damaged, which we just showed Liz showed a picture of on that video. Yeah, I'd say. It had flown to Bird Island, how appropriate, off the Eastern Cape in order for a specialist to carry out an aerial survey. After the survey was completed, the R-44 landed on the island, and the specialist requested to transport a penguin back to Port Elizabeth's Sturman Airport. According to the South African Civil Aviation Authority inquiry, the pilot agreed to the request, and the penguin was placed in a cardboard box with several holes punched into it so it could breathe. The pilot conducted a risk assessment of the flight, it adds. However, he omitted to include the carriage of the penguin on board. Investigators found a risk assessment for penguin transport had not been carried out. It states that the passenger on the left front seat placed the box containing the penguin on his lap and secured it with his hands. After the pilot started the engine and advanced power to 103 RPM, the helicopter lifted off. But while transitioning about 15 meters, about 50 feet above the ground, the cardboard box slid off to the right and dropped onto the cyclic pitch control lever. Whoa. As a result, the cyclic pitch control lever advanced to the far right position. The helicopter rolled to the right, and the pilot could not recover timelessly. What?
That's a new
timeously.
word.
Timeously. I don't think I've ever seen that word before. Is that a real word?
That is not a real word. Maybe they could not recover in a timely manner, perhaps? Yeah, I don't think that's a real word.
It is.
Well, it is a word. It's just not a good one.
I don't know. It's in the Cambridge English Dictionary.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What is the definition? Acting in a timely manner?
Doing something at the right time or in a timely manner, especially quickly or before the deadline, primarily used in Scottish English.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Pardon me.
I don't know.
I couldn't click quite fast enough.
Not
I'm sorry, Scottish English doesn't count.
It sounded like some kind of a robot sound. What was that?
That was me sneezing.
Oh.
Just overmodulated. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. After the penguin box slipped onto the pilot's controls, the helicopter rolled and, okay, that must be the caption. Its main rotor blades struck the ground and the helicopter came to a rest on its starboard side, badly damaged. None of the occupants was injured. We already talked about that. Transport of the penguin in the cardboard box was not conducted in accordance with civil aviation regulations governing helicopter flight operations. Absence of a proper crate, was for the penguin was unsuitable, creating a dangerous situation and an evaluation of potential health. So I think they had the penguin to slap him in the face with its wings.
By the way, it is actually called a Jackass penguin or a Jackass penguin.
Really? Okay.
Yes, so I'm just correcting myself there so we maintain 50%. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, well, it made a jackass of that pilot, didn't it?
Yeah, but there's another podcast that really talks a lot about penguins, and I think they might not like the fact that. But we have the Well, that's appropriate. I think they'd be happy for us to be the Jackass Penguin podcast.
They're also known as the Cape Penguins or the African Penguins.
Oh, ooh, I like caped.
And I've been to the Boulders Beach Penguin Colony near Simonstown in South Africa, and they are the most gorgeous little penguins, and there are dozens and dozens of them there. They're quite fantastic.
Isn't the internet amazing, Captain Nick?
Yeah.
The penguin looks confused.
Okay. Let's keep going, shall we? Knock out a couple more, and then we'll call it a day. All right. This from Logan Lynch. Feedback for... Oh, he may not be there anymore. He said, feedback for next episode if deemed worthy. Of course, he's winking to Liz. Hey, crew. It's been a while since I've submitted any feedback to the show, so I figured it was maybe time for a quick update in my life. To say I've been busy is an understatement. My full-time job driving for Acme Brown has been keeping me from feeling youthful as my back, knees, and possibly every joint in my body start to ache as a result of the rapid aging that comes from package delivery. But the job is great nonetheless. I also serve on the board of directors for my local airport here in Dunn County, North Dakota. So I'm getting plenty of time working with aviation, as well as particularly on the airport management side of things, which so happens to be what I went to school for. Our little airport, that's what I went to school for too, cool. Our little airport, 9 Yankee 1, for anyone who might want to look it up, is growing at a decent pace. In the last 3 years since I've started serving on the board, we've opened a new general aviation terminal, my second home for when I get kicked to the couch by the missus. commissioned our new AWOS, let's see, Aviation Weather Observation, Automated Weather Observation System. Is that what that stands for? I'm just making things up. And are in the final stages of our box hangar construction, which will double our capacity for housing smaller GA aircraft and boxes. I serve as the treasurer, and my job is to basically, and quite literally, keep the airport lights on by paying all the big bills. I'm not doing much PIC flying at the moment, as I have temporarily had my medical deferred for the time being, but hoping to have it back by the summer in time for AirVenture. Cool. Speaking of AirVenture, this year for me looks to be one of the most exciting visits I have yet. Okay. One of the, okay. 6 events I have yet as, okay. Speaking of AirVenture, this year for me looks to be one of the most exciting visits I have yet, as I got an invite to fly in on the Bonanza mass arrival on Saturday afternoon with a close friend of mine. So far, 101 aircraft are registered with a cap of 130. To be able to join the arrival, you must complete a formation course at an approved clinic. I think AJ was talking about the Bonanza formation course. And Camacho, yeah. There are several around the country over the next few weeks, and the closest for us will be in St. Joseph, Missouri at the beginning of May. So that's where we'll be. Cool. Nick Camacho, if you're around the area, or anyone for that matter, let's see if we can get a meetup going. The Midwest Beach Nuts Formation, NUTZ Formation Clinic, as they call it, runs from May 1st through the 4th and is located at Sierra Tango Juliet, which is Rosecrans Memorial Airport. Hope to see some of you there. Continuing the possible APG meetup theme, Captain Nick, my wife, and I will be heading to the UK for an overnight at the end of July. Yes, I'll be cutting my week of AirVenture short, sadly. An opportunity to finally fly on an A380 finally came up, and it was too good to pass up. We'll be staying in London near Tower Bridge if we want to try to get a meetup arranged there as well. Yeah, man, he's doing some good pre-planning here for meetups.
Oh, yeah.
That's about...
I've already been in touch, and we're going to try and do that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Excellent.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Okay, that's about it for me. This is Logan again. Hope to see you all this summer. Logan from We Only Have Two Seasons, North Dakota. What, winter and...
I think just winter and summer.
The summer is like 2 weeks long?
Very short.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Well, Logan's a great guy. Hopefully he's not in the live audience anymore. I don't want him to hear me say something nice about him. No, I think he is actually. Logan Lynch at 1746, and it's only 53 now. So he's still there. So darn it, he heard me say something nice about him.
Yep. He says, how dare you? How dare you?
How dare you?
Logan, we love you.
I didn't mean
Thanks for the feedback.
It's just all for the show. We love you.
Thanks for letting us know what you're up to.
Yeah, very good. It's always nice to hear an update from our community. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Next up is Mr. Robert Tucker. I don't know where he lives. No, wait a minute. Robert, it lives in Tucker, Georgia. I think he does that on purpose now, just to kind of throw me off. And speaking of throwing me off, Robert, I'm not sure exactly. I think I'm gonna do my best to try to figure out what you're trying to convey to us. He said, your mission has landed, Agent Robert. And then he says, is this mission possible, Delta Airlines? So let's say, sure, I'll give this a shot on a day yet another old plane caught fire. Okay, sure, I'll give this a shot on a day yet another old plane caught fire. And then we already talked about in the news segment, the 330 that caught fire in Orlando. That's the video link that he is linking to in his feedback. I did my best on Facebook to figure out exactly what all these things link to, and I did not see the primary reason for this feedback, which is something that Delta Marketing has chosen to do. They've chosen to be tone deaf and not delay blasting films from the Mission Impossible collection on Delta Sync in-flight, exclusive for SkyMiles members to watch during my next flight on Friday, which I guess is tomorrow. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to catch up before the epic conclusion, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, is released only in theaters on May 23rd. Will this message self-destruct on me Friday? I see what he did there. Very cute. This message will self-destruct in, what do they say, 30 seconds or something like that? Yeah, so we have a nice little, what do you call this, movie poster from Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning in May of 2025. Our mission is to making yours possible. And so that's kind of cool, I guess. So Delta Sync is like the Delta entertainment system. I think that you can access via the Wi-Fi on the jet via your personal device, like your tablet device or your laptop or whatever. I guess maybe even your phone. And I guess they're making available all of the Mission Impossible series that Tom Cruise has been involved with, up to and not including the latest, which will not be released until later in May, in theaters only. Oh, the heroes behind the scenes. Okay, so it looks like they're kind of highlighting some of the employees at Delta Airlines that make things happen. The everyday heroes that make it possible for more than 5,000 times a day. Yeah, I guess that's the number of flights. I thought we had, when I was flying there, I thought we had more than 6,000 per day, but maybe they've cut down a little bit. They had to cut back because they just couldn't do with workers like myself being retired. They said, oh, okay, I guess we're going to have to cut down, make it safe. All right, very good. Thank you, Robert. I don't think there was any kind of a movie trailer or anything to play on that. Yeah. Okay. All right, well, I did my best to try to figure it out, so thanks, Robert. Let us know how that experience goes for you. Okay, should we continue on or should we get... Yeah, let me hold the number 9. So we have a little bit more time to play that. Excuse me. And we have something from Stefan. Yeah, I'm thinking let's do 10 and then we can quickly do 12. Okay. All right, number 10. Let me get that set up. Oh, there's a video? Oh yeah, I got it. It's actually just a picture, but it's more audio than video, but we can go ahead and pretend that we're playing a video because it has some imagery. So let me read a little bit of this first before I play the video. Hang in there, Captain Nick. I know you're looks like you're fading.
He's yawning. He's making me yawn too. I'm like, oh.
I'm getting tired.
You started it.
It's just contagious. I started it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I think this is going to be almost the second to last piece of feedback here from Dean Yoder. And the title is The Anthem of the Regional Airline Pilot. He says, hello, fellow aviators. I fly for Acme Jr. and was listening to APG 658 when I was thrilled to finally hear the story of the outro song. I've been wondering the same as Roberta about its origin. I just assumed that I'd missed it somewhere. Finally, the mystery has been solved and I can stop being a distracted pilot. Yeah, we don't want to be part of that, Dean. Anyway, he says, I knew I had to write in and let you guys listen to what I believe to be the anthem of the regional airline pilot. This one was written and performed by one of our very own here at Acme Jr. and is one of my favorite songs ever. The words hit so true. And so now we're going to share this, and hopefully we won't get some kind of a major copyright violation by this dude that sings it. And here we go. I think you'll enjoy this.
Services calling, blowing up my phone. Another long day, why won't they leave me alone? I got a penalty lap before I call it a day, but we're gonna time out if we catch a delay. Passengers aboard, the cabin is secure. Now let's finish off the checklist and close the door. I'm a regional jet driver racing against the clock, kicking tires, lighting fires, I ain't ever gonna stop. I'm the first one out and the last one in. Tomorrow we'll wake up and do it all again. Middle rest, layover, hotel coffee in my hand. I slept through my alarm, now I'm racing to the van. KCM screening is starting to get old, but I won't let it get me down. Now it's go home day, I'll go home late. Pull the chocks and drop the brake. I'm a regional jet driver racing against the clock, kicking tires, lighting fires, I ain't ever gonna stop. I'm the first one out and the last one in. Tomorrow we'll wake up and do it all again. Minimum arrest, traffic control, just put us in a hold. I feel fatigue creeping in. I got 2 days off and 1 long commute before I do it all over again. I'm a regional jet driver racing against the clock, kicking tires, lighting fires, I ain't ever gonna stop. I'm the first one out and the last one in. Tomorrow we'll wake up and do it all again. Yeah, do it all again. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Very
Nice.
good. Lovely voice. Loved
Yeah,
it.
that's Chris Ryan. Okay, here's the deal. Everyone that is listening to this, whether it be the audio only or the video or whatever, or both, I'm going to have the link to his YouTube channel. Again, this is Chris Ryan, Ryan. The name of this was Regional Jet Driver, and I think that's the name of the album as well. And so he has several things on his channel, and not a heck of a lot of subscribers. So what I ask you to do is go to his channel. We'll have the link in the show notes. Go to the channel, hit subscribe, and hit thumbs up on everything that you can put a thumbs up on. And that will be massive for Chris, and showing that showing YouTube that this is something that people like seeing and like watching and like listening to, because they have these algorithms that really get excited when you do all what I just said to do. So do me a favor, do that, please. And I want Chris to really feel the impact from the APG community. And loved that song. That's the only one I've heard so far, but he has several other pieces of music on his
Now,
channel.
I'm far from an expert, but was that country or western?
I'd say country, almost like country rock.
Like country
wouldn't you
rock.
say?
I would say
Yeah.
country
Okay.
rock.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I call
elements of country, but definitely more rock leaning.
Absolutely. And Captain Dean, by the way, thank you for promoting this. And I can see why this is your theme song, because it really, I love the lyrics of this thing. He says, "Thank you for all the time and effort you put into the show each and every week for those of us with the syndrome." Oh, man, he's got the syndrome. Talons Douglas. Yeah, obviously he has it.
Get that man
Captain
some
Dean.
go around a ceiling.
Good job.
Yeah, definitely. We continue to work on it. We haven't perfected it yet. Yeah, no kidding.
Still some
but
stomach cramps.
Yeah, still has
side effects.
a lot of side effects, especially the stomach cramps. That seems to be the worst side effect. This is mentioned how many times?
Like 14.
Like 3, 4. Okay. Anyway, again, make sure you do what I said. Go to that channel, which I have the link to, and subscribe and click thumbs up on that. Okay. That is an order. If you don't do it, I don't want to see you back. I'll be looking. I'll know whether you did or not. Okay. And we're going to finally end it with this lovely piece of feedback from Roberta in Victoria, BC. Hi, Jeff. Loved all the song history and the rediscovery of the second song, which is, I appended that to the end of the last episode, by the way. But don't alternate. Please, instead, play both every time. Pretty please? Roberta and Victoria. Okay. Well, that would be easier for me just to kind of play one right after the other and just have that as, okay, I'll do it. I mean, people know what to do. If they start hearing that stuff playing, they can just go, okay, that's it. Move on to another podcast. If they've made it that far to the very end, which would be pretty amazing. The bitter end, yeah. All right, Roberta, I'll do my best. Thank you. Okay. Time to wrap this baby up, and we're going to point you to our website, airlinepilotguy.com, where you'll find all kinds of good stuff, information about the crew and the community and library. Tiffany, our librarian, manages that for us. We have more detailed and in-depth information about the plane tales. Captain Nick, the old pilot, handles that for us as well. We have, you can go to APG on YouTube and see when we're going to be doing the next video. And you could also, watch the latest one if I hadn't already, set it up for the next one coming up. So much more there. So just check it out, airlinepilotguy.com. We're also on social media, the social medias, and thank God Steph is here now to do this for us.
That's the whole reason I'm here. I know.
Yes.
I couldn't let it go another week not doing the social media for you guys. No.
Couldn't listen through that again.
To the rescue. So, a couple places to check us out. The usual ones, the regulars. It's facebook.com/airlinepilotguy. Over on X @APG Crew. If you're looking for Captain Nick's show artwork for each show, and I think we've fixed that maybe. That's on Instagram, instagram.com/APG Crew, @APG Crew on Instagram. Or go to YouTube, youtube.com/airlinepilotguy. Check out our live recorded videos there. Join the live audience. Those are the usual places. If you're looking for even more in-depth community interaction, I would encourage you to check out Slack and Hillel. Oh.
I hear the
Hillel never
shower
misses an
running
episode.
again.
He really doesn't.
Can you tell us about Slack?
Okay, but I'm dripping wet.
That's quite all right. Come over here and tell us all about it.
APG listeners, please join us on our Slack team. Slack is a communication, coordination, and sharing platform that works on your mobile, laptop, or browser. On Slack, we share news and ideas. We suggest episode and Plain Tales topics. We plan events and meetups. To get into the Slack team, please email me at slack@airlinepilotguy.com. That's SLACK, Sierra Lima Alpha Charlie Kilo @airlinepilotguy.com. Or send me a tweet with your preferred email address to @Hillel, and I'll send you an invitation. That's Hillel, spelled Hotel India 11 Echo 1, and see you in Slack.
Thanks a lot, Hillel.
Woohoo! Free soap!
Yeah. I still
You're
have some
stealing
left
your
over from-
soap again.
Yeah, I still have my box of hotel soaps. It's starting to run dry, but
Yeah, dry soap, not good.
Yeah, not good at all. A little scratchy. All right, let's see. Liz, thank you so much for all of the hard work that you do behind
job,
the scenes.
Liz.
And
My
before
pleasure.
and after. Yeah, couldn't do it without you, really. Love you. And also, we love our fine folks in our live audience, a live chat room.
It's
always
fun.
the great normal gang there, and occasionally we have some new people. And
It's
hopefully they don't get too
the
scared off.
abnormal group, Jeff.
The abnormal group, yeah. Well, that's true, yeah. And but we love them anyway, right? Like the Island of Misfit Toys, we love them too.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else to say before we finally just
That's it.
sign
We'll
off?
talk.
Go to bed.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you again on the next episode of the APG. And until then, wishing you all clear skies, unlimited visibility, talons, Douglas.
Cheers, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
See you next time.
I think I said talons, Douglas.
Tailwinds.
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 You know,
that
country rock
theme. Yeah.
Tailwinds.
It's like tailwinds. Okay, Nick. If you don't want to go with the human guinea pigs, which I think is great.
I quite like that, but
okay.
Give me an alternative in case it doesn't work out.
Big flaming mess. Big flaming mess.
Big flaming mess.
Those were your words about the big flaming mess coming out of the tailpipe. Big flaming mess.
Okay, yeah.
Big flaming mess.
I wish you hadn't suggested that one.
Well, he's going to go with the guinea pig. That's okay. That sucks. That was about something about getting sucked in the engine. That sucks.
Okay, don't like that one.
No good, too short. So that's at JFK. No good, too short. And happy beard day. Happy beard day. Happy beard day. So that's it.
And that, by the way, I just put in the live chat the link to Chris Ryan and Regional Jet Pilot, I think was the name of that. Let me double check.
Maine Marin likes penguins on the heli. Penguins on the heli.
Penguins
on the heli.
Heli.
Oh, no.
Helicopter.
Jet driver.
Helicopter.
Oh, right. Okay.
The heli.
Well, it's Jackass.
Jackass. I like Jackass penguins. I think that was
Jackass.
good. Yeah.
Jackass at the controls.
Penguin helicopter.
Jackass at the control. That's good. But that could be any of you guys. So, who knows?
I mean, all the more reason to listen to the episode if you see that as the title.
That's true.
Jackass.
Anyway, I think he's got something to work with there.
Or
Jackass penguin chopper.
Yeah. Yeah, Logan is correct. All the penguin references are copyright by that other podcast. True.
Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll have our lawyers talk to their lawyers.
Yeah,
we're claiming this specific type of penguin, though.
Exactly.
That's
I don't
right.
know if they want
and I
anything to
think
do
that
with
they'll
it.
be happy for us to
We're
claim
proud
it,
to have jackasses on our side.
Yep.
That's kind of probably the way they refer to us anyway, without the penguin.
We got a pretty crack legal team, so they can bring it.
Yeah.
Did you say we had a crap legal team?
Crack.
Yes.
They're on crack.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyway, bye everybody. Thanks for joining us. Nick has to get to bed, and Jeff has to cough.
I have to go pick up my car. It's done.
Okay.
It's ready. I paid for
that's
it.
a very royal
Bye.
wave there, Steph.
I know. It's elbow, wrist. How do I do that?